Yo, guys, what is going on? Good afternoon, everybody. We have the match now. Players are walking out on the pitch. And how are you guys doing, man? How's your weekend going, everybody? Let's just run through the results earlier on today. The results are Tottenham 1, Wolves 0. That was a really frustrating game because you know how good Wolves' defence are. I was hoping that they would hold them out, but Kane got his goal. Crystal Palace 3, Aston Villa 1. Now that's warning signs for Steven Gerrard right there. Crystal Palace again showing that the job that Arsenal did away from home was a very good one in week one. And as the weeks go on, that result from Arsenal in week one looks better and better and better. Everton drawing at Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest again getting a 1-0 lead and looking like they was going to get 3 points. And Everton rescued it there. Danger signs now, guys. This game against Arsenal and Bournemouth. These teams, man, Nottingham Forest, Fulham, these teams that have come up mean business. And they're really taking the sword to these Premier League teams. Fulham beating Brentford 3-2 as a shock result. Can't believe that they pulled that off. Fulham looking really good. And Leicester City losing again to Southampton. Boy, it's getting tough for Brendan Rodgers. Really getting tough. Over to our game. Sorry, guys. As you know, my long COVID is causing quite a little bit of coughing. So let's go through the team sheet. It's Ramsdale in goal, White, Saliba, Gabriel Zinchenko, same back four, same holding midfielders in Saka and Partey, and the same front players in terms of Odegaard, Saka, Martinelli, and Jesus. So what we have here is basically Arteta is going with if it's not broken, don't fix it. He's going with that kind of mentality. So look, I think it was a fair shout for us to get everybody in. What's going on, Nabil? How you doing, bro? It was a fair shout for us to say Tierney deserves to start or Tommy deserves to start. But I think in hindsight, what he's doing is he's just doing with the winning formula. And what's going to happen now is those guys like Tierney, Tommy, who are very injured, are just going to have to work on their fitness to get themselves back into the team rather than rush the whole process and then kind of get re-injured. So that's what I think he's doing. Big shout out to all of you guys. Kurt, big shout out to you, Kurt. Nabil's expression there as a screen froze. Nabil, what's going on, bro?
My headphones, so can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear now.
Yeah, I was a bit bemused because normally when you plug it in, it's just sort of plug in and go. But yeah, it needs to be adjusted a little bit. Hope you don't mind me in a vest today, man. I'm so hot in here, mate. I can't even put on my Arsenal shirt. It feels too hot.
And well, I was to do that. I was wearing my Adidas blue vest because it was hot, and I was going to actually jump in the hot tub outside in my back garden half an hour before the game. But when I'm in the hot tub, I like to stay in there for an hour. So I said, there's no way I'm going to get in there, rush to come out, watch this game. Yeah, I'm not doing it. Because it's a heavy afternoon. We've got this game now. I've got the Redskins versus Kansas City Chiefs at 6 o'clock. And then we got the boxing later on. So it's a whole afternoon full.
What's your prediction for the boxing?
Yeah, I've gone for, I think AJ's going to do it.
You reckon?
What round? I think AJ's going to do it. I think, he went in and he just, not going to say he wasn't ready and it's his job to be prepared. But when you just take things lightly and then, I didn't think that we saw the best AJ in the last fight. And I think we're going to see that.
Boxing is like football as well. You can go with an incorrect tactic against a team or a player that you can beat, an opponent that you can beat. But because your tactics and your strategy is wrong, it's hard to get out of it. Once you get into it, especially boxing is more like that than football. Once you get into a strategy and a tactic and it's not working, it's very hard to switch it up mid-fight and change it because that requires training, preparation, etc., etc. And especially when you're dealing with a southpaw and one that's technically good as Usyk, I can understand that. But personally, I think he's going to win because I think there might be some element of fix involved because AJ, I said it from the when he won the Olympics, he's a marketer's dream. He's English, British, good looking, handsome, affable, nice smile, marketable. He's a marketer's dream. So I feel like he needs to be heavyweight champion. So there's a lot to say about that. So I think he's going to win anyway.
Yeah, I agree. When did I meet him? I met AJ. I'm trying to think of the date now because I can't remember. So let me just type it in. Launch. I can't remember the date. So I think it was 2000. Oh yes, it was 2017. So I met him 5 years ago at the launch of the Destiny 2 Xbox Activision game.
Okay.
And he was there he was there playing on the Xbox, and I was chatting to him, and we was having a good little banter. I was saying to him, "You're just around the corner from me in Finchley," so he was just giving me some of them vibes there, and he's really down to earth. But the way Activision looked at him and the way the sponsors were looking at him, like you said, he's just a marketing dream. Yeah. So I have to agree with you on that point, bro.
Yeah, I can't see him being anything but a champion for the cash cow perspective. So. But if that being said, even if I take away the cynicism, I still think he's still good enough. He's still good enough to dig it out. He's still good enough to dig it out and find a way to beat Usyk. I do believe that as well. If he brings his A game, he's good enough technically to do it.
So, guys, we'll talk more about the boxing at halftime. But I just want to welcome Tony to the stream. How you doing, Tony? Me and Tony got the same tops on, getting the black and gold done.
How you doing?
I'm doing good,
Tony.
man.
Nice one, Tony.
You good?
Yeah, mate.
Vincey was trying to come in, guys, but he's had some issues, so I'm sure that he'll be back. Kurt, big shout out to you, man. Much appreciated, my brother. All goes in the kitty, yeah, because I got my bill for the channel this month, so it's really going to work out. Thank you very much, Kurt. I appreciate that. Kurt says controversial maybe, but I think it's more important to get Saliba signed up to a new contract than Saka. For me, he's the best defender in the league. I think it's important, yes, because Saka is a Haylen boy. Saka's got Arsenal running through his blood. You can't say that about Saliba, so I have to agree with you on that point. Saliba, as far as we know, is an unknown quantity in terms of where his loyalties lie. We don't know, and that's just being honest. Yeah, it isn't one of them things where we can get Tony to kind of tell us what's going on with him on the inside, because I don't think he has much friends in the UK. He's still working on his English, and his English is very good, guys. I have to say.
Stand up again, Tony. Let's have a look at that top. I'm still waiting for Jamie. I don't know. I'm going to shout out Jamie because I feel like Jamie's taking a mick with me, bruv. Where's my top, Jamie?
Well, you know what? I got to be honest with you.
Someone else. I'm sitting here loyally waiting for Jamie. Was it Jamie Andrews?
Yeah. I got to be honest. I had my order in with Jamie, but I had to go and get it elsewhere because I needed it for today.
I'm going to put it on him, bruv.
Oh, guys, Gabriel Jesus is beating one player, beating two. Martinelli, it's in.
Yes!
It's in. Yes.
It's in.
It's
well.
Great attack, guys. Absolutely great attack.
Really good.
That was all Gabriel Jesus.
The touch to bring the ball down. Did you see that control was awesome?
He's on fire.
He's on fire. Guys, he doesn't get credit for this, but I'm sorry. It was all him. You can see here, picks up the ball in the midfield, goes past one player, takes on another. Second player, the third player switches the ball into Martinelli. Martinelli shoots, goalkeeper saves, and Odegaard is there.
That is absolute quality. Brilliant. Now we are talking about a real challenge for the title, mate. This is good stuff. If this was Man City, people would be purring. This is proper Arsenal,
5 minutes, guys. And I do want to say, first of all,
brilliant.
I just love the movement, guys. I think
look at that. Lovely.
Martinelli might get the assist. I'm not sure. I don't think he will actually because
it comes back off the goalkeeper.
It comes back off. So, but I mean, I want to get a shout out to my man, the captain Odegaard, because he's been going after a little bit of stick, and I've been sticking up for him over the last few weeks. But then Odegaard is in the right place at the right time, and puts his man. The captain needed that. That's a big lift to the captain.
Oh, look at that!
Excellent start.
Oh, it's really good, really nice. I mean, that's proper football there. That's proper football.
Excellent start, man.
If that was Messi, people would be going crazy. So,
yeah, you know what? The World Cup's going to be interesting because I don't know if you've noticed, but Neymar started the season on fire.
Yeah,
and him and Gabriel Jesus.
No, you know Neymar. He's got a serious beef with Mbappe. He's fighting for his
Serious
life and his
beef.
reputation there, bro.
That's right.
And
That's
he's
right.
delivering. He's coming good. He's coming good.
Yeah,
And I think
Martinelli's down with a horrible
Arsenal's
tackle,
boys are going to
guys.
play a big part as well. I think Martinelli's going to get a call up, bruv.
If he can stay fit.
and Jesus looks like he's going to take Richarlison's place for sure, or Firmino.
Yeah.
So this is a great time for him. It's a great time for him.
Absolutely. But
You
yeah,
can hear the
I mean,
Arsenal fans,
I don't know
away
if you
fans
noticed,
singing
but
there.
like Brazil have got all their players purring.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
Vinicius Junior.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, they're purring, man. I cannot wait. I'm not joking you.
I tell you a big player. I tell you a big player that people don't. His name doesn't ring enough. It's Casemiro.
Oh, don't say that. He's going to Man United, isn't he?
I tell you what. When
Yes.
I saw that
Free
he's going
kick to
to Man,
Arsenal. It's defended. Go on.
when I saw that he's going to Man United, I thought, oh dear, now they're finally getting something right because
Yeah.
he's
Oh,
an
well done,
unsung hero.
Zinchenko. Play. That's it. Get it out of trouble. Excellent. Zinchenko getting back on not his left back position, but the right back position.
And
to
did you
help
see
out to
the
cover Ben
calmness?
White.
The calmness he took to take the ball down, have a look, take his time, wait for the player to approach, and then pass the ball to the appropriate person. He's just a Rolls Royce.
Shout out to Tom if he's watching, because I tell you what, Tom was the first person in the 101 group who sort of made me aware of the fluidity in our half concerning Arsenal and the way, you know, the fullbacks, especially the left back, does fit into midfield and sort out. And I'll tell you what, Zinchenko is an ideal acquisition for that role.
Yeah.
Quite comfortable right away across that back line, more than Tierney, I'd say.
Gary says, good afternoon, guys. What a time for him to join. Cam is saying, Sky is saying Saliba is undroppable. Saka should have been dropped a few times last season. If that's because he can't stand Pepe or if he's in a weird fear of rotation. We'll see with our new replacement winger. Tom is at the game. Yeah, Tom is at the game. He got tickets, didn't he? He said he sent that out just before kickoff.
So this is a game, I think, I mean, Saka's got off his account, but he's had a couple of quiet bits in games, and we're starting to see more production down the left-hand side. Obviously, the goal has come down the left-hand side. Again. They're working it down the left-hand side now. So it's one of them where we've suddenly seen a switch of where the focus of our attacks is. Will we see
good ball.
And
that's a good ball, keeper. Unlucky.
So, guys, I'm on 9 minutes and 25 seconds.
You're 10 seconds ahead of me.
2 seconds ahead of me. 2 or 3 ahead of me.
I'm on Sky Go on my Xbox. So,
yeah, you're only 2 or 3 seconds ahead of me. You probably get a shout out of the goal just a second or two before. It's fine.
Yeah, when I jumped up and said goal, you lot jumped up at the same time. So
yeah, you were slightly ahead of it, but we were still watching it evolve, which is fine. I don't like when it's all happened and you're being told before it happens. It takes the vibe out.
Mad play.
But guys, notice how so much is happening down that left hand side. It almost is like
we got Ben White. Ben White's in a lot of space here, guys. Ben White running forward with nobody around him. He squares the ball on the right to Saka. Saka's on the right side. He plays the overlap with Ben White. Ben White goes into the middle. Odegaard shoots on his head. Odegaard.
What a goal!
What? The captain is come here to deliver.
He's on fire.
Nice little commentary as well there, Apollo. I don't mind that at all. I don't miss anything.
Boy.
Love that.
Mad thing, man.
Oh, wow.
I was just commenting how everything was coming down the left, and now I have to eat my words.
Yeah, you do.
I did want to say before you said that, it's a good.
Oh no, you might be offside.
Ooh.
Oh no, you might be offside.
Ooh, that is going to go to VAR.
He's offside. Oh no, that is horrible. He's offside.
Yeah, I think he's offside.
Oh, he's onside.
Oh, he's on.
He's onside. That would be so great if he's onside.
I think he's level. Kurt saying got Jesus as my captain, so need him to score. Yeah, same, bro. Same with me. Gary saying, Apollo, you should be on 5 Live.
So the assist goes to Jesus because he basically taps it just before Odegaard shoots.
Did he touch it?
Yeah. So the assist goes to Jesus. So if you've got Jesus in your team, he just got you an assist.
And the goal stands, guys. Kurt is saying, changing my predictions to 5-0. Yeah, I said 2-0 away, and it's already 2-0. And
I haven't even given a prediction yet. All I've got is 3 points on the board. Remember the board that we said? I've given up 3 points for that. But
big up,
remember, guys, Odegaard had 6 goals, 5 assists last season, or 7 assists, sorry, last season. Odegaard cuts through Saka. Saka crosses the ball in the middle, but it's defended really well. Arsenal just on it, man.
Yeah.
Good to see you, Pengy. Pengy says, get in there. Good to see you, bro. Unbelievable start.
How you doing, Vincey?
Yeah, sorry, Vincey. Introduction, because I haven't even had time to speak to you. We've been going nuts here. How
That's
you doing,
good,
Vincey?
guys. I'm all good, guys. No worries, man. It's just had some technical problems with my headphones, so throw them away. It's all good, man. How you guys doing?
Yeah, we're doing. We're related. We're doing great. I'm waiting for your smile. Is that it, Vincey? Yes, Vincey's breaking a smile. I can see it right there. There you go. It's 2-0 to the Gooners, and they're just pressing for a third.
Saka corner. Now I'm a little bit behind you, but
this is insane.
Gabriel Magalhaes meets the corner.
Good to have the commentary and company while packing and to come home from holiday. Yes, always welcome, my friend. Gary saying that's how we should be like. The Arsenal of old to kill off a game. Yeah, this team is relentless, bro.
For real. Look at that press. Look at that press.
This is relentless, man.
It's great. It's fantastic. I think every
today.
game this season, including pre-season, I've just been raving so much about the press because it looks consistent.
Well, I think there's a stat saying that there's no one over 75 minutes who's got more attacking stats winning the ball than Arsenal in the Premiership. So
I tell you, we're balling out, man. It's not even funny right now. It's not even funny. Arsenal coming on again, just tearing Bournemouth apart on the pass. This time, instead of the right, they're going onto the left-hand side. Xhaka's giving the ball to Zinchenko's gone back to Xhaka.
Can I just say, in this move just now, we saw a lovely bit of hold-up play by Gabriel Jesus on the halfway line, showing his ability to play with his back to goal in the middle of the park.
Oh, Bournemouth look like they're through here. Saliba is shoulder to shoulder, but he's managed to do enough to put him off and put the ball out of bounds. And Saliba wins the throw-in as well. Does it get any better than this, guys?
He's a beast, man. He's a beast.
Does it get any better than this? Wow.
How good is he?
That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
Nothing to say, T. Nothing to say, man. This guy was... He was born like this, man. You know, this guy could have... I still firmly believe when we sent him out on loan his second season, this guy had it all.
Yeah.
I'm just glad to see he's just settling in. Fans are loving him, and he's just playing ball, man.
Wow. Absolutely awesome. Arsenal
so what's
now just controlling the ball.
Predictions, what was it?
Well, mine was 2-0, and it's already 2-0. Mad thing.
What do you go for, Tony?
I didn't, so I mean, based on what the score is now, I'd probably say 4-0.
Yeah, I went 2-1, but it's nice for us to get 2 goals up.
Again,
we should hopefully. You think 14 minutes gone, we should hopefully get a few more. It'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Give me money.
Nabil went for.
Is deceptively strong with his back to goal.
Mad.
Move away, Ben. Move away. That's it.
Yeah, I ain't got a prediction for this score. I've got no predictions. I've just got the win or loss or draw predictions, and I'm so far so good.
Nice.
But I didn't predict.
Well done, Xhaka.
I didn't predict that we'd be playing this smooth. I mean, we look really smooth. Defense looks good. Midfield looks good. The attack looks good. Saka's getting on the ball more. All looks really good.
So let me have a look at this. Let's have a look. Kurt is saying, is Pepe to Nice likely to happen? If so, which winger would the panel like to come in? That is a very good question. I personally, I think Gakpo would be good. And yes, I mean, because of what's happened, if a lot of Arsenal fans kind of sort of missed the news, there's a lot going on. We've heard that Tielemans is not starting this weekend. Pepe's not on the bench weekend, and with the transfer window coming to an end in the next couple of weeks or week as it is, this is where teams are trying to protect their commodities. So you will see a lot of players who have been linked with other teams not play. You know, it's fair that they're going to be taking that approach, because why would you lose a ton of money based on playing somebody and them getting injured just a couple of days before the window closes? So there is something in there, and I haven't on my sources, but obviously it's quite well known. David Ornstein have talked about Nice are in talks with Arsenal over a deal to sign Pepe on a season-long loan, and that's why he's not in the squad tonight. Pepe's agent has flown over and having talks as well. So it is what it is. Guys, look, at the end of the day, all parties want the deal to be done, and Arsenal are just looking for a sizable loan fee, while Nice just want a slight wage contribution from Arsenal. I'm hearing it's probably about 25%. When you look at 25%, that's about 35 grand a week from Arsenal, which means Nice would probably pay him around 105 grand a week. So let's wait and see what happens.
Good ball. Saka.
Ben White's just crossed the ball in there, and it's just gone out. This is the thing, man. Lewis, how you doing, bro?
Yeah, I'm good. I've got a bit of technical issues. Nothing's bloody charging up in my house. So, I decided to just jump in anyway.
I think you and Vincey have got some gremlins in there, man. But I did want to show you a picture, Lewis.
Yeah.
This is what I think of Arsenal right now. Yeah? There. You know what that is? Do you know what that is, guys? That's a pink Rolls Royce. Yeah? That's a pink Rolls Royce. So you talk about some players like Saliba or Rolls Royce, but the whole damn team is a Rolls Royce.
Yeah.
And when they play in this color like they did at Palace away from home, they are just devastating, man. They are just devastating. They are a pink
press
Rolls Royce,
again.
guys.
The press is so good. You know, Bournemouth are struggling to get out of their half. Literally, as soon as it comes over the halfway, we win the possession. Free kick to Thomas Partey, who wins the ball. Come on, take him on. Oh, good tackle.
And we got Andrew joining us. How are you, Andrew? I hope you are well, guys. I did just want to clear up something from the forum, guys. We have not really had. Look, I'm not going to talk about the forum in a bad light. All I'm saying is we've had a lot of traffic that I've diverted over to the YouTube channel. It's fun because it's live and we can have a back and forth conversation while the game is going on. And the game thread just hasn't been busy, and it's just sort of been deteriorating as time goes on. And I understand there are some people that still want it back. I'm still kind of working on that at the moment, but Facebook hasn't been really helpful of late. So at some point, the game threads will come back with the live streams.
So can I address Andy Roach's question? Lewis has got the guns out because it's Carnival season, boy. Watch out. Next week, are you going to be down Carnival? Boy, big guns coming out, boy.
Why is Nabil showing off the guns? Nabil's
Carnival, boy.
Nabil's hot, and I'm sitting right by the window. If I open the window, too much noise comes in, so I'm literally just hot right here now. So I had on my Arsenal top, but even that was too hot. I was literally sitting here bare chest before the
Don't lie, Nabil. You ready to fet?
And then Andrew says,
Bacchanal,
Vincey. He says Vincey two-tone because of the hat. That's nice. I like that, Andrew. I like that.
Pie. What's going on, Pop? Pie in the
I
house.
good, man. I good.
Ooh, nice play by Martinelli.
That's the
Ball
corner.
goes out. I think that's a corner to Arsenal. 18 saying, I'm waiting to hear Vincey's voice, as in his Bayesian voice.
Bayesian voice. Yeah, man. Nabil, come on the stream looking sweet, man. Look like sweet bread, boy.
I'm hot, mate. I'm hot, man. That's all it is, man. I hope you guys are okay with it.
Listen, I told you I was going to do the same, but I thought I have to win a black top since I went out. Jamie Andrews kind of let me down last week, so I'm going to...
Yeah, Jamie Andrews. Jamie Andrews is a letdown.
Good corner. It's come back in from Saka. It's all over the place. It's ping ball machine at the moment, and Bournemouth clear.
Zinchenko one-on-one.
Bournemouth. It's
Well played,
Zinchenko.
Zinchenko.
Good
Good
wins
play.
that all day long.
Good recovery.
All day long.
Well,
Good distribution.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, it's all
Wow,
good. It's all
what
good.
a
It's just a lovely balance to see there.
Yeah. And you know, when you were talking about this tone,
yeah, man.
and we were saying, like, you know, is he a little bit fallible at the back? But, you know, look at that.
Don't forget, I don't. It's always a question when the player has pace. I find with Zinchenko, it's the pace. It's not necessarily someone that's like not that quick. It's always someone that's got a bit of pace and a bit of strength that he tends to struggle with. But what I'm liking what I see from him, you know, so intelligent with the ball.
Yeah.
There was another little bit earlier on in the game where he was pretty much one-on-one. Bournemouth had done their long ball over the top, and it was the touch that absolutely killed the chasing player.
Mm.
And he played it simple, and it's something that Arsenal have missed at times, you know.
Yeah.
Magog says 22 says, "What's up, God's people? We're doing good, bro. We're doing good here."
And then let's not also forget, guys, with Zinchenko, he's the keepy-uppy king, bruv.
He is, he is.
Yeah.
Cam saying, Apollo, saw your review of Dragon Ball's movie. I'm going to see it tonight, straight after the game. Good review. I'm subbed. Yeah, thanks for that, guy. I haven't been too busy over the last month or so on the movies channel because I'm just exhausted these days. The weather's taken a lot out of my lungs, and I'm really tired, so I haven't really done as much as I am. But I will be doing Stargirl later on. I'm not sure about She-Hulk, and I'm not sure about House of Dragons. I'll have to let you know.
Have you seen anything of House of Dragons?
I've seen a little bit, yeah. I got sent the first 3 episodes, but I haven't had time to watch them.
Oh, right, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, man, how can I find them?
They send it subscripted to the members of the Writers Guild, don't they?
Oh.
So because Leavesden are not letting us in Watford anymore to do the screeners, they do send out early reviews to most of the critics.
I think it's going to slam. I think there's no way it can't slam.
Yeah, I think it will be really good. I think it's a different kind of story. It's set 180 to 300 years before the events of Fire and Ice. And there's no White Walkers in there, but there's plenty of dragons. So I think people would sort of find their way through it. The thing is, Nabil, people have to learn that Game of Thrones was a slow burn, and this is also going to be a slow burn as well, although the book is only 4 seasons. Mark says, I used to connect via Facebook, but as long as you post a link to Facebook to remind me, then I'm happy to log on here. Yeah, big time, bro, big time. Bertram is given his 2-0 away from home in the first 11 minutes. Deserves more than Bertram. Montag says, Man City, which other players don't you need? No, I think we're good, man. I think we're good. I think look, this team could be better than City in the next 12 to 18 months. Who knows? Kirk says Saliba's motto, none shall pass. I like that.
Yeah,
Nick.
That's a poor ball, man.
Nick.
Come on.
Lewis, where are you? I'm 25 minutes, 50 seconds.
I'm 10 seconds behind you.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
exactly the same.
So, guys, match stats. Arsenal, 6 shots, 3 on target, 7 touches in the opponent's ball. Bournemouth, 0 shots, 0 on target, 0 touches in the opponent's half. We are playing away from home, guys.
And look at the possession, mate. Talk about the
73%.
possession. 73%.
Mad thing. I'm enjoying this, man. Woo, Redskins after this, and then Anthony Joshua after that.
What time did Joshua fight? Where is he?
I
The
don't
ring
know,
walk's
but-
meant to be about 10:30.
Is he fighting? Where's he fighting?
Oh, that's a free kick on Saka.
Yeah.
That's not a yellow card,
Where?
ref. That's a yellow.
Where's he fighting?
Where?
So who beat him in the last fight?
Yeah.
Bloody hell, have you got your head in the sand? Like the
I
whole
don't look at
world
them.
has gone, the whole world is aware of this one.
Who's it?
I don't know where he's fighting, bro. I never know until it's time to fight. Where is
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he's fighting Usyk.
Where is he fighting him? Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Where's he fighting him?
Nah, it's Saudi Arabia. Jeddah.
Oh, yeah. I remember.
Hey,
Sorry.
Nabil, he's an Arsenal fan. He ain't.
I knew that years ago. Sorry, I knew that months ago. You're right. I haven't paid attention to it recently. I did know that months ago, honestly.
Gary says, talking of films, anyone seen the new film from Netflix, Day Shift? I saw it last night and had a great time watching it, my friend. I had a great time watching it. Very enjoyable film.
Free kick. Oh, the guard.
If you like things like if you like most of the vampire films from Quentin Tarantino, Dusk Till Dawn, and all that stuff, then you'll really enjoy this.
Shaka. That was a good
Really
chance.
enjoy this.
Should have got
Andrew says, is the panel lineup today 101's front five? Oh, that's difficult because Ebony's been missing for a while. I don't know what's happened to Ebony these days.
Press again.
Danny is sick. Danny should be joining us today. He's listening to the stream, by the way, but Danny's not feeling well. He's come down with it at the moment. And Kemi says, come on, the Gunners, keep winning every game. Yes, we will, bro. A lot of people already starting to say that it would be Arsenal and Man City challenging for the title this year.
I think it's too early for that. I think it's too early for that talk. Personally,
I think the thing is, the key thing is, we've got to
Odegaard, lovely footwork for Odegaard.
If you look in comparison,
look at this! This is brilliant football.
He has no right to keep that ball there.
If you look in comparison to other seasons, where at the start of the season we're not taking our chances, we're making quite a lot of chances and we're scoring goals. So it's given us an opportunity to gain points. And you know, you can see the team. Look at Palace. Palace are gaining points and stacking them up early, and that's the key this year, especially in the World Cup year. You know, you don't know how players are going to come back after the World Cup, so you want to get as many points as you can before. So
I think as well the fixture list has been quite kind, where we're not really playing anyone big until like September.
Yeah.
So we can get like a nice little foothold in the league and kind of, you know, take it from there. I mean, United, you expect United to sort of get their footballing style sorted out by the time we get up to them. And Liverpool.
Saka's having a decent game today, guys. Saka's having a decent game. It's good to see.
So if we can just get our points, get our goals, it gives us confidence, and that's what we need. It takes the pressure off.
100.
Yeah, I mentioned this when we did the season preview that 6 out of Arsenal's first 10 games are at home. So we really need to build up that kind of momentum until game 9 and game 10 when we take on Liverpool and Spurs. Yeah. And you know, we'll be able to handle whatever happens in those games as long as we build up a nice cushion.
Yeah, for sure.
And it will show sign of progress as well. Like, I'm eager to see how we do against the teams that are fighting out for Champions League and stuff this year around.
Yeah, because those are our rivals. Cam says, don't worry, the boys will be inspired after Arteta gives them a PowerPoint presentation on how Alexander Graham Bell invented the telephone at half-time. That's some funny shit, Cam. Andrew says, Tony Cox, the beard looking in need of a Christian tooth. Kurt saying, glad we got rid of Uber when we did, as he had to go. I'm annoyed they got him on a free, and now 7 months later, going to make some money on him. Yeah, I don't, you know what? A lot of stuff is going around about Aubameyang. I don't even talk about him. I just don't feel the need to comment on somebody that wasn't really helping us. When he was on form, helped to get the FA Cup done. Thank you very much. But we gave you a butt ton of money and you were supposed to provide and you didn't. So that relationship, divorce. Yeah. And, you know, it's like when you see an ex-wife, you say, look, fair play, wish you all the best, move along, and you don't think about it again. So that's where I am with that whole thing.
Go on, Gabby.
Kurt said we should have inserted a 50% sell-on clause if sold within 12 months, reduced, to 25% if sold within 20 months. Yeah, I think they were so desperate to get rid of him. But that is a good point, though.
That's a very good point. That's a shot in the foot, really, because that should have come as standard. You know, I think Javi must be rubbing his hands at that. Honestly, we slipped up there. You know, to get rid of him, we done what we done. I think we've done everything right, but there should have been a sell-on clause. If you sell him for any, whatever amount, there should be something in it for Arsenal.
No, but we terminated the contract, so therefore he becomes a free agent. We don't get nothing from that.
Right, yeah, you're right, yeah.
That's why. Otherwise, I think the way Edu and his team are doing the business, they probably would have looked at something like that.
Yeah,
but
true.
Because Aubameyang had breached the rules and not leading by example as club captain, they had no choice but to do it. You know.
In that respect, I think we've made the right move, because as far as I'm concerned, you've got to just clear the way and just get on with what you're doing, get on with your plan, and this is the plan, and the plan is working, because I'm liking Gabriel Jesus more than any striker I've seen for a long while. It's not just about putting balls in the back of the net. It's about build up, play, skill, link up.
Yeah,
he's ticking all the boxes for me.
Absolutely, 100% agree.
Right, sorry guys, I've just taken the score out from there and put it in the banner at the bottom, the rolling banner at the bottom. So Arsenal just on top right now. Thomas Partey isn't even sweating. This is the most relaxed I've seen Thomas Partey since he's come to Arsenal. He's just chilling. He's just keeping the ball 1-2 and just making it very easy. And every time we win the ball back, they're looking at Partey to just control the tempo of the game. Odegaard now on the right-hand side has gone to Ben White. Saka is going inside more. Do you remember I said to you guys last week? Saka has got to stop hanging out on the right-hand side on an island and get himself in the middle of the box and get involved in the play. And that's what he's definitely doing today.
Come on, it's got to be. But if you're gonna put in a cross, you whip it in mid-height, man. Especially when you've got movement of Jesus up front. You can't be. Come on, Ben White, better than that, please.
Yeah, I agree, and I think for me it's just a matter of time before Ben gets replaced by Tomiyasu, because to me, he's just a better player at that position.
Yeah,
I like Ben White, but I just don't think he fits that right back role as well as Tomiyasu does.
Yeah, I mean, you can understand why the boss doesn't want to change a winning formula. And then there's that thing where we know Bertram has been very vocal about paying 50 million for Ben White and then being in a situation where
you got to bench him.
Yeah. But you know what? While he has a point, you guys know that I don't, teams have got a natural way of formulating an organic progress. You look at men like Wan-Bissaka, you look at, players.
Look at Grealish, he's £100 million sub.
Exactly, and he's fighting himself off the bench. So it happens, guys. What you guys have to understand with situations like that, and situations where you pay 70 million for a guy like Pepe, you look back at the amount of teams that have spent money, like United on Di Maria, 68 million and all this stuff. And I could, look how much money Man United paid on Sancho, which was more than Arsenal. And Sancho was giving them left. Yeah. I saw that. But it's like Odegaard controlling the tempo there in the midfield, and Arsenal, again, back on track. But my point is that we make a big issue with these things that happens, like the Pepe situation and how much money we spend. But big teams do that all the time. We are, if we're going to consider ourselves a big team, then we have to understand that with that label, you're not going to hit it out the ballpark every time, and there's going to be mistakes. You don't hear Man United fans talking about Sancho being a waste of money.
Yeah, let's be honest, it's not like we're the ones buying the players. If they spend 70 million and put it on a bench, 50 million and put it on the bench, you've got to be just confident that, we should have some quality to come off the bench. Man City have got a lot of money on their bench every week.
Saliba just slapping that. That's the third time they've
I
tried that through ball, and Saliba has just battered it away every single time. Kurt saying, who has not hit the like button? Yes, guys, we got 40 people watching, and how many likes do we have on the video? We've got 10, so that's not enough, guys. Hit that like button out there, support the channel. The like button don't cost you anything. Yeah, if you want to support the channel monetary wise, £2 from £2 donation, click that pound note button and support your channel. Otherwise, the like button, that does your job as well.
It wouldn't be Nabil if Nabil didn't do some complaining. So I think now's a good time to do some complaining. But I think that with this 37 minutes, with this level of possession and intricate play here, I do think we need to get a bit more cutting edge going there. You know, you got to. I mean, it's Bournemouth, but you got to show all teams respect, and you don't know who. You know, basically, I feel like we need to be doing more with this possession, and we need to be getting more shots off, making that goalkeeper work. Yeah, that's my rant.
Arsene Wenger always talked about the fear factor, and that is something that the Invincibles had, and we've lost over the years. And the fear factor in football is a very defining reason for your game plan, because if you feel that a team is so good with the ball in the counter attack, with possession, winning the ball back, then you won't attack them as much. And I think what we're seeing here is that Bournemouth are just afraid of Arsenal.
Yeah, they're just look at that.
They're just afraid of them. I mean, look,
Yeah,
they're not pressing us. They're not committing men forward, and that's because they're afraid of getting hit at the back.
They're parking the
low block, everything. It's just very defensive from them. And when they, as I said, the press is probably the most important part of what Arsenal are doing going forward, because we're able to win the ball high up. We're able to keep the ball.
I mean, look how easily we're playing possession in the midfield. This is a Man City type of performance.
Yeah, but there's got to be more cutting edge around the box, though. Once you get that ball in the final third, I want to see more shots coming off.
But I think the damage is done.
Exactly. The 1/3 of the game was already
Here we go. Get a shot,
here's
mate.
Jesus.
Well played.
A bit wide. Just keep it in. Keep the ball moving.
There you go. Get the ball down. Nice play. There you go. Good possession play. The possession play is exquisite. It's brilliant.
It is. Gary says that Odegaard doesn't stop. Yeah, bro, listen. When everyone was dogging him out for the last 2 weeks, who was the guy that came up here sticking up for him? Yeah?
Oh, that was a good.
Who was the guy?
You can't dog. I mean, people who are dogging Odegaard, they just show their football knowledge, man. I mean, come on, man.
And the fact is,
Seriously.
over the first 2 games, he's run more kilometers than any player on our pitch.
And to be fair, like I said with Odegaard, he's dropping into a 4-3, or as Tony pointed out, he's dropping into a deeper 2-man midfield position. He's your number 10. He plays in the hole, and that's where he done all his damage last season. It takes a little while to adjust to this role. Come on, mate. You can't complain.
So far this season, guys, in 3 games. Oh! It's deflected. Odegaard has another shot. Deflected. It's controlled by Jesus, but Jesus' shot gets blocked. Odegaard brings everything under control.
Well in.
And that's it. It's a throw to Bournemouth. So Cam says last year Arsenal had lost their first 3 games and it was Arteta out. What a difference it makes to stick by a manager. Amen, my brother.
Fair play.
Gabriel Jesus in 3 games. Jesus 2 goals and 3 assists in 3 games.
I think it's more assists than that, no? Oh no, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
This night. See, Lacazette weren't even hitting them numbers.
Lacazette was a shot in the foot, mate.
And we've got in a more mobile, more willing number 9 who actually wants to hunt down the
Zinchenko. Zinchenko looking nice, bro.
Yeah, he's found Martinelli, and Martinelli's gone back to Zinchenko on the left-hand side. Zinchenko's trying to see if he can spot across. Yes, he does.
Oh, lovely.
The ball comes
Unlucky.
Unlucky.
That's good play. Oh, boy. I can't see Tierney getting his spot back, mate. I'm sorry, but I just can't.
I'm glad
can't
you
see
said that, Nabil, because I've been on that boat from like 2 weeks ago.
I can't see it. I can't see it.
Well, it's to the detriment of Xhaka, isn't it? Because you want to see Zinchenko further up the pitch, but
Yeah.
you know if you put Tierney in, Xhaka's got
Yeah.
to come out. Yeah, and if the manager doesn't want to do that, which I don't think he does, then that means that Zinchenko has to keep starting at left back.
Tierney will get his place. You know, it's 38 games a season. You know, it's a long way. There's going to be times where at different areas of the season, players are going to go off form. You know, there's no rush to get Tierney back in the team now. He's had some serious injuries, so you know, I'm not sweating it. You know, there's going to be opportunities where.
What a ball from Thomas Partey!
Yeah,
What a ball from Partey! Great control.
Unlucky.
Was that offside?
Unlucky.
Yeah, you're
it's
going to see Zinchenko under pressure in games where in the matchup is tricky.
Guys, if you see this ball from Thomas Partey, man.
Yeah, it was a nice ball.
Look, he's onside. What are you talking about? He's onside.
Yeah, but it might be Saka interfering.
No, he's offside.
I just
offside.
saw the replay. It looks like he's on. I just saw the replay.
Well, to be honest, yeah, it's Saka who's offside, but he doesn't interfere with play.
He does because he holds off the defender.
He does.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Because he's making an active move towards the ball. If you don't make the move towards the ball.
Yeah, Tony, as you were saying, or with Kieran Tierney, what I'm saying is I think Zinchenko will be the first choice. Without a doubt, Tierney will get games, without doubt. But I'm looking at this now and I'm thinking, do you know what? I like Kieran Tierney, but sorry, Zinchenko just looks better in every department. Every department, he just looks better.
I'd like to see how we match up against teams where we don't have the ball to see how he plays. You know, that's where a lot of the concern was with Odegaard at Palace, where he wasn't performing like he's today. And this is what I'm saying is there's going to be matchups where we're going to be tested. You know, we're not going to see us seeing the fluid football that we play in. It's hopefully we'll see the guys.
Oh my days, my man's
and stick to the game plan and grind it out because they've got it within them.
I think when it comes to these things, guys, what's the common theme when we play Manchester City and Liverpool? The common theme is the mistakes and the errors that we make and the red cards that we get and the penalties that we give away. And look, I don't have to go through the history of who's caused all of that and everything else. But the fact of the matter is those are the things that have been happening to us when we play the big teams. What you're seeing now is competent football. When I do my videos on this channel, I always talk about that in regards to ball possession, the ability to play under the press, the calmness, the poise that a player should have. And when you look at this team right now in the midfield, there's just no sweat. These players are comfortable on the ball. When they're getting rushed, they're not forced into errors, and it just looks easy. So when you see, in terms of us playing a bigger team and cutting down on our errors and mistakes, it looks good, but we have to see it in practice. Gary says, I still think that Xhaka is a vital part of the team. That's the reason why he's still playing, mate, because Arteta thinks that he should be in a team. But however, I stand by what I said. If you put Tierney in there, then it's Zinchenko versus Xhaka, and I don't think that's something that the boss wants to deal with. So it's easy for him to keep Tierney out of the team. And as Vincey said, there's the Europa League stages. You know that every time you play Tierney and Tomiyasu, they get injured. So now you're in a position where your squad is so strong that you don't have to rush players back. So why don't you wait another 2 weeks and then put them in the Europa? Why don't you do that? What have you got to lose? Nothing. Because Ben White and Zinchenko are doing a job. And Xhaka is playing well. So why don't you just wait until the Europa League? And then you can put those players in who have had slow recoveries and then ease them into the team rather than rushing them back. Cam says Zinchenko... Sorry, go on.
That's been one of our biggest downfalls, where the squad hasn't been deep enough or strong enough to allow players to recover from injury properly. So they're coming in not fully fit, and then they're breaking down. Coming in not fully fit, breaking down. And we have to break the trend somehow.
Yeah, brilliant point. Brilliant point. And that's what I like about Tomiyasu, Kieran Tierney. None of them really they're not getting rushed back. That's what I like. Let them really recover and build up strength, so we don't have them back in injury positions shortly after coming back. That's a brilliant point.
Yeah, sorry. Cam says Zinchenko must be careful when under such pressure, but our positioning and passing in the first phase is at an elite level now. We'll only see its beauty under intense press play. Gary says, well, this has been the most comfortable 45 minutes we'll probably get this season. Excellent half, I agree. And then he says, 100% Apollo. If we cut out what you just said and take our chances, no reason we can't beat City. Yes, because we've seen it. A lot of people say, "Oh, we lost 4-0 to Liverpool." Well, for 44 minutes, before we started making mistakes, we were pretty much right on them. And against Manchester City, we outplayed them the entire game and ended up losing in the 93rd minute, which was just an absolute horror show. But the fact of the matter is that you've got to look at it in the environment that the team is growing. And this season now, this is where it's at. Let me put the halftime banner up on. Halftime. Here we go. So, guys, it's halftime. Arsenal have been in complete control. The captain, Martin Odegaard, put them ahead in the 5th minute with a tap-in before curling, a beautiful curl. It was a Robin Van Persie type curl into the left corner just 6 minutes afterwards. Now, Bournemouth, in my opinion, they haven't even laid a glove on them. If this was a boxing match, they haven't even landed a punch. They've had 0 shots, 0 touches in the box. I'll say that again. 0 shots and 0 touches in the box. Nabil.
Hello.
Yeah, what's your thoughts on the first half?
Hold up. Let me get the remote control so I can put it on mute.
Okay, let me go to Lewis instead. Lewis, what's your thoughts on the first half?
We've absolutely dominated from first whistle to the halftime whistle, and this is probably a game where we've controlled it as well. So I found like in the last 2 games, obviously where the team's gaining their fitness, their match fitness, we haven't really got a grip of the game. But for me, like, we have controlled the game in all areas of the pitch. Bournemouth can't deal with the press. They can't deal with the intensity. And it's a very, very, very professional performance from us. And we got rewarded with the 2 goals. Get that 3rd goal, and then we can start making some changes and give some minutes to some key players now that we can make 5 subs.
Vincey, what's your thought on the first half, mate?
I just think this is just great that we're taking our chances. Starting when we start well, we're a different team, and that's just the confidence we've got to move forward with. Yes, it would be nice to have seen more goals, but be 2-0 up away from home. It's a great start to the season. And the salmon kit's looking good, man. Looking good.
Yeah, the pink Rolls Royce, as I would call it. Tony, what's your thoughts on the first half?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much the same as what everyone else has said so far. Very impressed with the press. I think that's something that I'm so keen to see develop and continue. The sharpness of Jesus is amazing. He shows such wonderful feet. The positioning and play of Saliba, I think at the same time as I like to praise Saliba, I should give Gabriel some praise because, he's still a rock on his side of the defence. So far so good. Very happy. Like Nabil said, I would like to see a little bit more clinical passing in the final third to create more opportunities because this is a game that we could, run out 4-5.
And Nabil, you ready to give your piece on the first half?
Yeah, I think I'm not going to everything everyone said. I'd echo that, but for me, with Arsenal, I would like to see us kill teams off, 1-0, 2-0, and really in control of the game. I'd like to see us do more with possession. I'd like to see us really kill teams off. And another thing is that they are parking the bus, and this is an opportunity for us to really put into play how we can patiently break down teams, how we can find a way to unlock teams, because I think we have struggled with that in the past, and it has led to us losing. When you're up against a more robust opponent, it can lead to them getting back into the game. If you can't find a way to break them down, and they can hit you on the break, or they can get a little sneaky 1 or 2 goals in, like Spurs done to Chelsea the other day, it can be a problem. So second half, I hope that Mikel Arteta is on that in the half-time team talk and looks to find a way to break down this bus that they've parked and get more openings with this possession.
So let's just quickly have a look here so that I can find out what happened in the first half. I mean, this is away from home, guys. It's just sheer dominance. It's ridiculous, in fact. I'm hoping Bertram comes on, but we've just got an from him at the moment. And Arsenal 73% possession, 8 shots versus Bournemouth 0. 3 shots on target and 2 goals for Arsenal. 1 off target, 4 blocked shots, 90% passing accuracy, 1 clear cut at the chances, 4 corners, 1 offside, and I don't think that was an offside. They're just showing the replay on the first goal at the moment now, and it's just ridiculous. I mean, just look at Bournemouth stats in the first half at home in the Premier League. They're at home, and all I'm seeing is 0, 0, 0, 0, 73% passing, 0, 0, 0. That's Arteta ball. And what it is, guys, is we're just suffocating them. We're just absolutely suffocating them. I don't know what adjustments are going to be made at halftime. I think they're going to have to give their forward a little bit more help. But look, all I can say is Scott Parker, I don't see him committing more men forward, because all that means is that Arsenal's just going to open up the scoreline. So we might see an even more defensive formation from Scott Parker. And Arteta might just be happy with the result and just cool the tempo. We might see early changes here, maybe in the 60th minute. So Gary says, I watched the under-21s game against Swansea, can say that I was impressed with what we saw from Vieira. He looked okay, but will take time to settle in. Cam did say, would have been nice to score a third, but at least we've kept close control of the game. Would like to see Xhaka and Partey switch a few times so that Partey could get forward a bit. Yeah, I do like that, because Partey likes himself a goal. Leyada, nice to see you, bro. I ain't seen you in a while. He says he turned water into wine. Need I say more? And he also says, nice to have a Rolls Royce. No, it's a pink Rolls Royce, bro. The team is a Rolls Royce right now. Tony, what are you saying, Tony?
Yeah, so I just want to comment on that midweek under-21s game, because I watched the entire game, and I think I want to dispel some of the myths of like how good is X, Y, or Z. I mean, for me, the man of the match, the guy who really impressed me was Miguel Aziz, because he played number 6 and really just, dominated in that part of the pitch. The players coming back, well, Emile Smith-Rowe looked fit. I didn't light the game up. Yeah, Cedric looked composed. A fantastic free kick. Vieira, I think it was just a matter of just getting acclimatized. He didn't show anything. He didn't try to beat a player. I think when I look at that game and I compare it to Marquinhos the week before, when Marquinhos is running at players and scoring goals, 3 goals in 2 games for Marquinhos, it's clear to me that, Marquinhos is more acclimatized at this stage than Vieira. And don't forget, Vieira has only just started playing because of that boot on his foot that took him into quite a long time in pre-season. So I think we need to calm down on Vieira. I think it's nice that he's on the bench. He's obviously going to get a feeling for what the whole day is like, being part of the system. And if he gets a bit of game time, great. You know, at 3 or 4-0 up, that's fine by me. But I really don't think right now he's quite ready.
So, Tony, Tony, can I just, when you referred to Marquinhos, and I know earlier on someone made a comment about, okay, if Pepe leaves, if another winger comes in. Me personally, I would like to see, if this guy is good enough, I'd like to see him get some minutes for us to see, you know what, can he make a difference in the first team? So, you know, as much as fans want to see Vieira get an opportunity, you've said Marquinhos has started well for the unders, and it would be nice to see him get a run up. Do you think he's got that ability to impact the first team?
So again, you know, the thing with Marquinhos is he has had the full pre-season. You know, he was there from the get-go. And that's obviously given him the ability to build the stamina, to get acclimatized during those preseason games where he played a significant role. And now he's come into the season. He's got his fitness. He's acclimatizing with the other Brazilians in the team. He feels a bit, I think, more comfortable than probably Vieira does, knowing that he's got all those Brazilians around him. I mean, Vieira only really has Cedric by way of a compatriot in the team. But of course, they all speak Portuguese. Is Marquinhos ready? I think it's like many of the other sort of second string players. I want to see him get minutes. You know, I'd like to see Reece Nelson if he's going to stay. I know he's got an injury right now, but if he's going to stay, I want to see him get minutes. Eddie Nketiah needs to get minutes. Tomiyasu, Tierney needs to get minutes. I mean, right now, I'd rather see Marquinhos get the minutes to Vieira. I think Vieira needs, he only played 45 of that game on Tuesday, so it wasn't like he played loads of time on the pitch.
And would you say
I want to see him. Oh, sorry.
And would you say that Marquinhos is a little bit similar to like how Martinelli started with us on that flank, where he's dribbling down on that left hand side? You know, he's got that potential to play that type of role and give us productivity.
Yeah, I mean, the difference I would say immediately is Marquinhos doesn't show that instant burst. That when Tierney came on the scene, you was like, wow, this guy's rapid. You know, running off the ball was just different gravy from the get-go. Whereas I don't see that blazing speed, but certainly an eye to beat a player, and obviously an eye for goal, because he scored 3 goals in 2 games. And did he not score in pre-season as well?
I think he did, yeah.
Yeah.
I think he did, yeah.
So that for me tells me that, you know, look, there's a player who who's got ability that we need to harness and nurture in the right environment, which, as you said, would be European League football.
Fair play, good shout. I think Apollo's probably gone to get us some, get a drink and rest his throat.
So what are your predictions now? What are the score predictions now at half time?
I'm going to still stick with my 4-0. I mean, 2 in the first, 2 in the second. I'll be happy with that.
I'm still going to go for 2-1. I just think it depends how we come out. If we come out the same way how we started, then we should see more goals.
I just saw a touch map of Gabriel Jesus. I mean, it's ridiculous. He's had so many touches in so many parts of the field.
So what did you say? Lewis, what was your prediction?
I'm gonna go 3-0. I think we'll just get that next goal and just completely kill the game and then just control it.
Yeah.
From what I'm seeing in the first
Sorry, go on.
Go in the bill, go on. No,
No,
after you, bro.
finish,
After you.
No, finish, please finish. Sorry, I cut you.
I just feel the way we've controlled the game in the first half will just continue that. Bournemouth haven't really threatened us. If they've gone over the top, we've got the pace to cover it. They're not really stringing many passes together. Like they look like they're a beaten team already after the first goal. So I can't see how Scott Parker's gonna turn it around to even get a goal. We have been that dominant today.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree with you. I mean, I was going to go for 3-0. I was going to say, I expect them to be able to get a goal out of the amount of possession that we're creating. But I'm actually going to go for 4 because I think Mikel Arteta really does do good halftime team talk. Whatever he does during the break, I think you can always see a positive difference, even when we lose. You can always see the change that he's.
I mean, the thing is, the thing I would say, Nabil, is that you've also got to expect a reaction from Bournemouth because look, they've just probably got a proper dressing down in the dressing room, and I can see that they've already decided to bring on a change. They're bringing on their number 4, so clearly they're going to do something different. So let's just see how this goes. But let's get in there. Let's up the ante. Let's get a 3rd. Let's get a 4th. Let's make some subs.
I think I think that what they were doing is probably the best idea. I mean, they look like they're shutting up shop. They're trying to do a bit of long ball over the top, counter attacking football. Like you said, they've gone in at half time. Look, he's bringing on two new players. It looks like they're going to try and go for it, which I think is worse for them. It's worse for them because we need space. You can see we're struggling to get open with this bus parked. If they try to play and try to come at us, that's going to give us the space and the options that we need. So
absolutely,
bring it on. Bring it
on. Yeah. I mean, it's bold, but look, you're 2-0 down at home. You might as well go for it.
And it's early on in the season as well.
Yeah.
Sorry,
we're off in the second half. Bournemouth kicked off.
Yeah.
Immediately we see the Arsenal press.
And they are going for it a bit more. You can see they're committing more players.
But Arsenal winning the ball back in their half. Bournemouth have kicked off 25 seconds ago. The ball hasn't even got into our half yet. It only just makes it there with the goal when the goalie kicks it out. It's back in their half. That's the sort of thing that you look for in the game, and you go like, really? So now Bournemouth have still got retention of the ball, but they've given it away.
But then we gave it away,
and we clear it.
I think Gabriel. Nice. Get this ball down, lads, and get
good work by Jesus. Jesus doing his defensive work. Very good. Well done. Foul on Odegaard, is it?
Mm-hmm.
So the ball will be Arsenal's free kick from just outside their area. Yeah. The foul was a headbutt by Zamora when Odegaard won the header. That'll be a little bit sore tomorrow.
Flipping heck, man. They remind me of Stoke. They're just kicking down and leaving the boot in, and do you know what I mean? I remember the last time Arsenal came to Bournemouth a few years back when Eddie managed to get us the winning goal. But it was much the same. Like, they haven't really changed much in the way that they play from then. It's still the same.
I'm having to do multi-screen because the boxing has started in Jeddah.
Look at you with your technology. Go on, T.
Yeah.
I don't tend to watch many of the undercards. I might
Yeah.
put it on round about 8, half
So
8.
I did a live stream
See
on
what's going
Instagram
on.
the other day, and one of the guys who's boxing came on my stream and had a chat with me, and he's just boxing now. He's just about to start his fight. He's captain.
Oh, nice. Good luck to him.
Yeah, he's got the legend Buddy McGirt in his corner.
Right, guys, what did I miss?
Back to Arsenal. Not a great deal. I mean, you know, Bournemouth have made 2 substitutions to try and affect the game. Obviously, I think they're going for it. But the ball, their first attempt doesn't even go towards goal. Good distribution.
So I'm on 48 minutes and 50 seconds.
10 seconds ahead as we was before.
Okay, good. Oh, they've just given the ball away. It's the ball coming into Martinelli was just too hard. So what have I missed here? So Binsley says the free centre backs we have been real classy today. White's finesse, I think it's fit, or White's fitness is impressive to be able to support and track back at the rate he is. Just incredible. We got to give more credit to Ben White, guys. I've been feeling that over the last week that's something we should be doing. Gary says, I doubt Bournemouth will commit. They want as low a score as possible, and goal difference could be massive for them towards the end of the season. I agree. I haven't. I mean, I've got work going on in upstairs in my bathroom and everything, so I missed a couple of minutes. So I'm not sure how Bournemouth have come out, but it does look like they have committed an extra man in the midfield, which means they're probably going with 3 at the back. You can see them now coming more onto attack. So there's definitely a tactical change. A cross comes in from the right, but Gabriel does well and heads that clear. Kurt says, Joe, Idaho impressed me in the under-21 match against Swansea. Gary says, Vieira had a couple of opportunities in that game, Tone to beat and play or shoot, but didn't. But I can agree he will need time. Carlito, I haven't seen you in a while. Carlito, I hope everything's going well. He says, come on, you Gunners. Let's fly the flag for the jugular. Gary says, wish Scott Parker would take Cardi off. Cam says, probably our most dominant half of football this season. Saliba, so assured. Zinchenko, quick and progressive. Jesus, unplayable at times. What a transfer window. And this is why I voted Arsenal had the second best transfer window behind Man City. Me and Andy was going at it on our Friday night Premier League show. Sorry, we didn't have the show last night. It was all kind of crazy. And as I said, this heat's been doing a number on my lungs. So I'm really scared to take a back seat at the moment. Whoa, it's a shot and it's gone over the bar from Bournemouth there. Ramsdale asking his midfield and his defenders why that opportunity wasn't closed down.
No, but it's his fault. He kicks the ball. He's actually complaining to the referee that the player blocks the ball.
Yeah, that's right.
Being kicked out.
I saw that, so because Bournemouth have already had made better inroads to finding a goal than the entire time that they had in the first half. So that's crazy. More enjoyable second half on the way, guys.
Yeah, that's definitely that's an infringement by the player.
I think he's given a free kick.
Yeah.
Gary says Arsenal very sloppy at the start of the second half. Yeah, sorry, Lewis, your mic sounds a lot better now, mate.
Yeah.
I got the headphones on, that's why.
Oh, nice.
Okay, so the guy that I just told you came on my stream couple of days ago, just knocked his opponent out.
So I think Jesus has just been yellow carded.
Yeah, he didn't need to make the challenge. He didn't need to make the challenge.
Go on, Zizou.
Needless. Come on, Saka. Come on.
Yeah, so we've got Saka on the right, bring the ball up into possession. The Bournemouth have got a lot of numbers back with him, and that should be
Saka.
That should be a free kick.
See, I think I want Saka to start doing something in this game because he's playing like safety with a safety like harness on. He hasn't quite got to the point where he's like, destroying his left back.
So it is a free kick to Arsenal, guys. Who's going to take it? Is it Ben White or Odegaard? Oh, it's Odegaard or Martinelli.
Martinelli, yeah.
Yeah.
Odegaard will take.
That's
It could be whipped. It could be whipped in. It's oh no, it's gone down the line to Martinelli. Martinelli
Right,
on the flank.
What's the plan?
Cross comes in for Martinelli.
Ooh.
Xhaka puts it back in the middle. Saliba! What a goal! Saliba! Xhaka
Yes, sir!
Oh my God! Oh my days!
And that's the thing. And that's the thing that I said at the first game of the season. The one area that he needs to improve his game is goal scoring. And beautiful strike. Absolutely beautiful strike.
Oh yes.
So you can see Xhaka here just plays it back neatly for Saliba to finish. That's a forward finish.
That's beautiful.
Culture.
Xhaka. Wow.
Cultured left foot, man.
Left foot. That's beautiful.
The goalkeeper did not have a chance.
Get the paperwork down there right now. Ask Bournemouth to print it off. Get him signed.
What I'm looking at with this
Come
guy
on.
now.
Yes,
guys,
sir.
look.
You see Zinchenko?
Guys, no lie.
Zinchenko's
When
like-
I look at when you saw the players run up to Saliba and congratulate him, he had a very shy, bashful look on his, almost like Nicholas Anelka.
But look at Arteta. Arteta and the team are absolutely overjoyed.
I didn't see the goal. I missed it.
Brilliant,
I'm waiting for the highlights. Nothing's happening.
The beauty. Oh,
Kurt
mate.
says double his wages and sign him up for 6 more years.
For real.
What's he on now?
Cracking.
What's he on now, Apollo? And what's he looking?
How do you mean?
What's Saliba's salary? And do you know what his contract demands are?
No, I don't know, because his agent is not from here. We're not getting really good news, and the agents I've spoken to I have no idea what's going on. As far as what I'm aware, his salary it was around 160 grand a month. So what would that be? That would be.
I don't think he's on that much.
Grand.
Apollo.
He's on 40 grand a week because it's 160 a month.
Yeah,
He's got
yeah.
a 5-year contract. Yeah. 10.4. So his annual salary is 2,080.
Yeah, so I mean, whatever happens, they need to get him a proper deal, because 40 grand a week is not enough.
Yeah, for sure.
How much would you put on the table?
You got to double him at least.
Yeah, I'd probably go 75 or 80.
Yeah.
How old is he?
Yeah, and
22.
if you're thinking about it in Arsenal terms, they probably would be around that ballpark. I wouldn't go 90. Not now, not at the moment. He's just 21 years old. His time will come where they'll probably re-sign and restructure in the next 2 or 3 years. But for now, I'll probably put 75, 80 on the table.
You have to put a clause. You have to put a clause in, because if you don't put a clause in, we just leave ourselves open. I know was talking earlier on about the Aubameyang situation, but for me, my frustration is I don't think Aubameyang showed anything else different than what he was doing before. He just behaved even more worse. So when we gave him the captaincy, you stop and you think, it's like, okay, let's start protecting the in this situation. Put clauses.
Nabil, did you just see that replay?
I didn't. I got my wife on the phone sending text messages. I put my head down to have a look at the message, and the highlights come up.
KS says, what does age have to do with it? Age has to do a lot with it, because Arsenal have...
He's in. Go on, Martinelli.
Is just gone over, because Arsenal have a strict wage structure when it comes to paying players of ages through their development. So it has a lot to do with it. Cam says, can we believe the hype, Apollo? Yes, you can. And the reason is we have a tendency to always downplay Arsenal's success. It's just something we do. What we have to find and understand is that when you look at what Liverpool have done, they've played Fulham and Palace and are yet to even get a win. And we've gone away to Palace and we've gone away to Bournemouth and we've just dominated. And then we put 4 past Leicester at home. And when you look at the way how the manner of what's going on, and I'm going to go with Vincey tone, it's not the result, it's the performance. And I think that we have to park the result for a minute and just talk about the way they are playing. And this is what frustrates me when people say, oh, it's only preseason, it's only preseason. Preseason is your preparation. It sets the tone. And I've talked about this since week 1, that because the tone was right, because the preparation was right, the result and the performances are right. So everything stems from there. And I think that it couldn't be far from the truth.
Zinchenko could end up being my man of the match today, man. He's really catching my eye. I'll tell you what, he's really catching my eye today, boy.
See that little drag back. It's awesome.
Montag says, who else thought Saliba wasn't good enough? Arteta only. You're probably right. You're probably right. You're probably right with that.
I personally think, I think, Apollo, that
be honest now. Be honest.
When it comes to these young players and coming over to England, and you know they got, because he had quite a bit of a reputation before we signed him, right? And you don't want to drop a young
player down, got kicked.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, go on, Lewis.
And then he doesn't succeed, right? It was unfortunate that COVID happened when it did, because I pretty much think when he went back to St. Etienne, he would have literally, you know, featured a little bit more in the team then. But the way Arteta's dealt with it is the best way. And I know a lot of fans were frustrated saying, you know, we need him now. Sometimes you have to wait. Good. You know, that what's that saying that Guinness say? You know, good things come to those who wait. Right? To the team, you know, we all knew from a long time ago what he was capable of. He just needed another year of transition into first team football and to fill out and develop a little bit more, you know. And then now that he's got his chance, he's a very very undroppable player. Like, you look at him,
and he feels
like
a new signing. And he feels like a new signing.
Exactly. And I think at the time as well, we had a lot of centre backs then. You know, we had a lot of senior centre backs, and it does take a while to clear them out to make the pathway for him. You know, and I'm glad that he's now able to showcase his talent, because Arteta's phone and Edu's phone must be ringing off to see if this guy's available for sale. But they're going to have to just press the deny button and give him the contract that he deserves.
I mean, let's be honest. Next year, Real Madrid will come in.
You see, the thing for me is, it's. I hear that people are saying, okay, amongst fans, even here in our group on the panel, saying that he's not Premiership ready, he's slow, he's not up to the pace. But for me, that's just a false narrative, because you just got to look at and see the way how the guy plays. He just needs to be able to play with confidence, and it's shown how he's played in pre-season. He hasn't learned anything about the Premiership by being in France. So he's gone out in France, played his natural game, coming to the Premiership, and he's just bossing it. So again, you've got to look at it and give credit to the player. He's confident and he believes in himself. Arteta sent him out on loan. He didn't want to work with him to develop him. He's come back and he's showing right now in training he is a boss. So for me, I'm bigging up at Saliba. I've always believed in him. And it's not about this narrative that we throw out with players. Oh, it's a Farmers League or the Premiership is this. Listen, you got to look at the players' attributes. This guy is a man mountain. You look at Virgil van Dijk. yeah, and you see how Virgil moves around the pitch. Now look at Saliba. We have a player. We shouldn't have a player of his quality.
Oh, Party.
So deep into his contract, and he hasn't been playing first team football for Arsenal. We're lucky to have this caliber player at our club.
Yeah, I agree with that. Bertram says, Apollo, he is a fourth-year player. Competition is based on performance, not age. If I was his agent, I would not sign for less than 100 grand a week, especially since he would be going into his final year. Martinelli, by the way, has just kicked a field goal for 3 points. There's probably a level of that. I think when we talk about player salaries and things like that, we have to understand that the club has policies and there are standard policies, but we also, and that's why you're talking about step salaries for all the players in the team. But there becomes a time where you have exceptional players, and so Bertram, you're talking about Saliba being an exceptional player. So therefore, your point is very valid, because if you look at somebody like Saka went from 30 grand a week to 125 grand a week. If you're looking at
Saliba, to me, deserves exactly the same remuneration, because already I'm going to say he's as good a defensive player as Saka is an offensive player.
It is. Now, if Saka signs this new deal for 125 grand a week, that would probably make him one of the top earners at his age in the UK, in the Premier League.
How old is Saka?
Saka's the same age. He's 21. Saka and Saliba. So that's why I'm saying Bertram's point holds well, but we're talking about exceptional players, aren't we? You know,
I think Saka wants to be one of the highest paid players, because even though he's 21, he's as important. He may be just a little bit under Jesus and Partey. He probably level on importance as Partey. So, you know,
yeah, I mean,
he's not even close to being on a level with Partey.
You don't think so?
No, because there are, listen, there's at least 10 players who could do Saka's job in the Premier League. The amount of players that could do what Thomas Partey does in the Premier League, probably about 3.
Yeah,
but I mean, in terms of his importance to Arsenal, I mean, when you talk about the first name down on the team sheet and who are Arsenal's top players, Saka has got to be in the top 3. Yes,
no, not to me. Yeah.
All right, so that's an interesting point to the panel then.
Yeah.
Let's start off, Apollo. Who would you say is your top 3 players, most important and top 3 players for Arsenal? Forget about scarcity. Think about what they bring to the Arsenal team. Who do you guys say are the top 3 players?
Oh, that's a difficult question. At the moment, if you're talking about now and at the moment,
sorry to cut you. I'm gonna yes, it does include now, but it does also include the past 2 seasons. Because who's been doing it for us past 2 seasons and now continuing to do that. Now.
What's going on there, Ramsdale?
Yeah, I had a look at that. I would say, well,
Partey to me is the most important player.
One at a time.
Yeah, I would say Partey, Jesus, and if I'm talking about right now, I'd say Partey, Jesus, and Odegaard.
Cool.
If it was now, if it was last season, I'd include Saka in that.
It's got to include last season. It has to include last season.
But if it includes this season, if it includes this season, I can't put Saka over Jesus.
We've only got 3 games in, so it can't just be this season. You can't write off what a player done.
Yeah,
no,
but you can look at the way Jesus plays and say he's definitely far better a player than Saka is.
Well, guys, Bournemouth are on the attack here.
Let me just rephrase my question.
Okay, Arsenal clear.
Let me rephrase my question. It has to include last season, because we've just had 38 games last season for players to prove themselves. But also, we've just got a couple new signings in who are showing up nicely as well. So it has to be who is our most important, who is our best 3 players now, and you've got to include last season's form as well as this season. So now, give me your thoughts, Apollo, again, and then move on to who's up next.
I'll go after that.
Tony,
okay, so that's a very difficult one because
not for me.
Yeah, because the fact that Jesus is in the team, I can't put Saka ahead of him. I mean, I can't put Saka ahead of Jesus.
Give me a top three.
So it's Odegaard, Partey, and Jesus.
Nice one. Odegaard, Partey, and Jesus, including last season, yeah.
Yeah, including last season.
Odegaard, Partey, Jesus.
Yeah. Now,
nice.
An interesting point you made was to include the last 2 seasons. Because if I included the last 2 seasons, I'd have to include Pepe. Because Pepe 2 seasons ago was fire.
Well, just last season then.
All right. You see how your little change of words makes such a significant difference.
Yeah, but I mean, last season, it's more important to just think about last season than now.
If I was just to look at last season, last 6 months, I'd have to probably include Tomiyasu.
Tony, it's last season and this season.
Okay. So, as I said, to me, the most important player in our team that can walk into most other teams, with probably the exception of Liverpool and Man City, is Thomas Partey. The next player would be Gabriel Jesus, because he's easily the best player we've got and have had over the last 2 seasons. Because as good as Saka was, Jesus is still a better player than he was last year.
Good. And the third?
The third, I'll probably marry with Odegaard.
Okay. So who you got there? Partey, Odegaard, and Jesus again.
Yeah.
Same as
I understand your argument, but if we're just going on what you did last season, you'd have to put Emil Smith. You'd have to put Emil Smith Rowe in there because
we've made it clear. It's not just last season. It's last season and this season.
So guys,
Vinci Tone, what do you reckon?
Hold on, Vinci. Before you go, I just want to say, KS says Partey, Saliba, and Jesus and Jesus. Cam says Ramsdale, Partey, and Jesus, and 18 says Gabriel, Partey, and Jesus.
I think this is a tough one. 3. I think what Apollo's called out, those comments in the chat are vital. I don't think we have any semblance of a spine without Ramsdale in goal. It's without him. I think we butters. So,
we're not even in the Europa League with him.
Which is butters. So he's down
whoa!
There. But then you've got to. I'm looking. I'm thinking. Partey is almost as important as Odegaard, but Odegaard shines over Partey for me because I don't think Partey is given enough games from last season, this season.
What a ball from Partey. Hold on, guys. Arsenal don't take again. It's a through ball. It doesn't go anywhere.
To pip Odegaard. So for me, it's Ramsdale.
Jesus has won the ball back by pressing in the final third. He's won the ball back. Sorry, Arsenal on the attack now.
It's a goal.
It's Odegaard. Jesus, and he trips and he dinks the goalkeeper. It's a goal.
You know what I love? I love how hard it is to give yourself 3 of the best. That is what you really want in a team. You struggle to give your 3 best players. Lovely. Yeah. I don't think there's no right answer. I don't think there's any right answer.
Yeah, and I think the thing is we can focus on midfield and then we can focus on attack. And Jesus walks in, but when you look at the way how the team is,
he might be offside.
If Gabriel wasn't playing, I think
he's offside.
Saka's offside, but Gabriel Jesus is definitely on.
Yeah,
there's a player to the left of him.
No, I can't see that player. I can't see him. That's offside.
But
that's not a player. He's off. He's off.
Yeah, he's off. Actually, he's on the line with that player at the top of the screen.
Yeah, his toe is just over that line. Yeah. Unlucky.
It's on the Bournemouth defender's arm out.
No, his bum's out.
You can't score with your arm.
You can't score with your arm, but his bum's out. His bum might
he's
do
probably
it.
off then.
He looks off to me. He looks off.
Yeah, he's
looks
off.
off.
He's off. It's disallowed.
But the
guys.
thing,
It's
the
disallowed.
fact that it's taken this, the fact that it's taken
off.
this long, like
He's off. He's offside.
Yeah, he's off. He's
So
off.
who was your
Yeah.
final three, Vinci?
So yeah, to
Ramsdale.
answer your question, Ramsdale, I'm going to go for Gabriel because again, we can't.
Gabriel, the defender.
The defender, yeah. You
So go on
can't.
again.
If you ignore the defense, then you know what I mean we're playing long ball football. So you know I'm looking spine. So our spine is Ramsdale, Gabriel, and Odegaard. But my fourth,
No fourth.
Ooh,
I'm just saying, just to,
ooh, guys,
no
three
fourth.
changes. We've got
No fourth.
Nketiah, Tomiyasu,
We-
and
we want it to
Smith-Rowe
be
coming
difficult.
on.
We want it
okay,
to
I'll
be
go with
difficult.
that.
We want it
go
to
with
be
that.
difficult.
I'll go with
So,
that.
Lewis, can you give me your top three?
Boy, to be fair, when we didn't have Thomas Partey, it was noticeable we didn't have him.
Right.
We didn't have a presence in the midfield,
Right.
right? So he's
yeah.
one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry,
The
guys.
fact that-
Ben White's coming off. Odegaard's coming off. Martinelli's coming off. On is Tomiyasu, Smith-Rowe, and Nketiah.
Lovely.
So the question is who's captain now? Jesus? Does that
No.
mean
Odegaard
Jesus
just come off.
captain?
Yeah, Xhaka.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that doesn't surprise.
There you
me,
go.
but
There you go,
we'll
Lewis.
move on from
Really
that.
keen to hear yours.
After that, Ramsdale, yeah, he did have some really. He had some. When he made a difference to the team last season.
Mhm.
He's one of the pivotal parts for us progressing up the pitch and
Right.
playing out from the back. He has had his moments where he's looked a little bit shaky,
Mhm.
but you look at it and you think to yourself, nobody wanted him. Like when we was linked to him, nobody wanted him. They're like, he's a relegation for the keeper. But he absolutely quieted down a lot of fans, including myself. Like I have to take that one back. Right? You look at you just got to compare him to Leno and you just see a noticeable difference. And the fact that he breeds confidence in the back four. So he's in there with one of my top three. And Gabriel Jesus is it's unquestionable. Like he's in there just for the impact that he's brought.
He's still there. Oh,
Such a small space. So that's my top three. And
so you
like,
got
there's a couple of special
Ramsdale,
mentions,
Partey,
but
Ramsdale, Partey, and
Jesus.
Gabriel Jesus.
you
You know what?
I can't
I'm
really
not going to give a
them
big.
because it's only your top three.
Yeah, I'm not gonna give a big dissertation because for me, I mean, you've all said it already, and I think it's really about importance. And Ramsdale is he's fundamental to what we do. Fundamental. Thomas Partey again, he's a tricky one, and I'll tell you why. Because again, I think Vinci alluded to it that he hasn't really shown us what the best of what he can do, but still. As Lewis said, when we don't have him, you see the massive hole in the midfield. So I'm going to go Partey as well on that. And I feel bad. I feel mad because I feel like Odegaard, he's probably my favourite player, which makes a lot of difference. He's probably my favourite player, but Thomas Partey is much more important for me. He's the most important player. And again, Gabriel Jesus has just shown us in only a handful of games and that's your spine. You spoke about spine. That's your spine right there. Ramsdale in goal, Partey in midfield, and Jesus up front.
Yeah.
Apollo,
Nice work.
Can we revisit this at the end of the season? Because I think it's a great question. It's a great way to challenge us fans and how we view the team. But how the team performs this year, I think we could see some changes there. So I think it's something if you pencil that into to revisit this at the end of the season, I think it'd be good.
Definitely will, mate.
And there you go. Sorry.
Class from Partey. Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw it. He's just Partey's just on a different level. So when we're talking about Thomas Partey, it was all about when Bournemouth are on the attack here, guys. They might get one in and they don't. He puts it wide right of the post. So Thomas Partey, it was the Man City game where I said, what on earth was that display from Thomas Partey? Then he goes to AFCON, Africa's Nations Cup. Then he comes back and we're all worried that he doesn't bring that form back with him, but yet he does. And honestly, the displays I saw from him were Makelele-like. It was just absolutely dominant in the midfield, just a bully.
Yeah.
And,
do we have to talk about that Granit Xhaka misplaced pass? Because it was truly awful.
Well, it's the only thing that hasn't...
You might upset Tom. You might upset Tom and Dean Paul and the rest of them.
Let's be honest. Look, it's one misplaced pass in a game where he's got an assist already.
He slipped. Bournemouth were all over the place.
Oh, what a save! Oh, my days. Now, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
That's a great save. Nabil, you're about 5 seconds ahead of me.
Cool, blimey. Look at this.
Oh. Yeah, that's a great save. Yeah, I think it was going wide. It
looks like he's going wide, but you've got to get there. You've got to get there. He's a great guy.
Yeah, one for the cameras, that.
No, guys, let's pay attention to why it went wide. Did you see Saliba challenging for the duel?
Yeah.
Saliba actually looks like
if you can't win it,
he gets his head on that.
Yeah.
I think Saliba, guys, watch it closely. I think Saliba actually gets a head on that as well.
But they always tell you if a player's taller than you and you know you can't win it, you just lean into them and you make it difficult.
Geez, Saliba's a big dude, Saliba's a big dude.
Nobody getting worked up, man. He should have held that, man.
Yeah. The replay shows it. I mean, when you see it live and it's looping and he's hanging in the air, it looks brilliant. But
he loves them, man. He likes those ones, yeah.
A resulting free corner.
So it looks like Lewis might be right with a 3-0 here.
Bertram says the important players are straight through the middle. Gary says it took us 9 games last season. It took us 9 games last season to score 9 goals, and we've already done it in 3. Camp says, why shouldn't Arsenal fans be happy and bigging the team up? This time last year we had 3 games in it. Yeah, I totally agree. Bro.
Such a difference.
Bertram says Partey, Ramsdale, and Jesus are the only irreplaceable players. We have 3 good centre backs, so they are interchangeable.
Yeah,
I'd say we have 4.
I'd agree with that. I've stuck with that. I mean, like I said, that keeper is so important. He's overlooked. Partey, I mean, I think there's a lot more to come from him. I'd want to see more from him as well. But Jesus again, totally missing link, and not just a missing link.
You know what I would say, yeah. I wouldn't sell Partey for maybe 2 or 3 players in English football. Maybe another 2 or 3 in world football. I wouldn't. Let me think about strikers in world football. I mean, obviously you got your Mbappes and Lewandowski, Benzema, but I'm more than happy with what Jesus offers. As far as a goalkeeper is concerned, I could pick up an Aaron Ramsdale type goalkeeper in 6 other clubs in the Premier League.
I'm not sure I agree with that. I think when you're looking at goalkeeping ability, yes, but I'm thinking when playing out of the box, with his feet and also his attitude, I think that's going to be a bit difficult. I think when it comes to playing out of the box, I think City, Liverpool, and Arsenal, when it comes to keepers, have the best.
Yeah, I mean, you're trying to marry Ramsdale with Ederson and Alisson, but he's not even close.
I wouldn't say he's not close. I think when you're talking about
Tony, statistically, and 200 saves, he's ranked number 2 in the Premier League. That's how goalies are.
What's his distribution like compared to them 2?
I'll have to look that up.
And how many goals has he conceded in comparison to them 2?
I think he's about 2 years away from being compared to them.
Yeah.
Thank you,
I
Tom.
think that's a sensible. I think that's a sensible.
I'm not
point,
saying
Vinny.
he's a bad keeper, but
what I'm saying is when you talk about you can pick 6 player keepers like that, I completely disagree with that, because when it comes to having a keeper who's a shot stopper, he's commanding, he puts he puts confidence in his back line, but he can play out of the box.
Lloris.
He can play out of the box, and he's got distribution as well. There's
Did
not
you?
many goalkeepers like that.
Did man?
I'd rather Ramsdale than
Did you
Lloris.
say?
I'd rather Ramsdale.
Come on,
than
guys,
Lloris.
let's
you
get a
say-
clean sheet here. Come on.
You said
Sorry, guys.
Hugo Lloris.
Do you know what I mean?
No,
I don't like him. I don't like Lloris. I don't like him. He can't compare to Ramsdale.
Guys, look, all I'm saying is when David De Gea was 23, everybody said that he's the best in the world.
Right.
Now he's 31, everybody say he trash.
He is trash.
So we gotta be careful when we talk about Ramsdale. We gotta be very
De Gea's
careful.
lost it, bro. I don't know what happened to him, man. He's
No, but it also comes like, as well as the keeper giving the defense confidence, the defense has to give the keeper confidence as well.
Yeah.
And at United, there is no combination there.
Right,
You just had to look at last week against Brentford to see
Mhm.
Ten Hag's trying to do what Pep and Arteta are doing and playing out from the back. David De Gea is already set in his ways at his age.
Right.
You
Guys,
shouldn't
it's
be
a free kick to
changing that.
Bournemouth outside of the penalty area. Arsenal really have their work cut out here to have a clean sheet. It's 84 minutes and 10 seconds gone. And
don't deserve a goal, I can
let's
tell
see
you
what
that
happens here.
So based on statistics from last year, the player with the most saves was Ilian Meslier, 143. Kasper Schmeichel, 131. David De Gea, 128. Jose Sarr, who we voted in our team of the year last year, remember?
Yeah.
Yeah,
dream
Jose
team
Sarr, 121. Nick Pope, 121. Jordan Pickford, 117. Fabianski, 114. Tim
Yeah,
Krul,
all crap
106.
goalkeepers playing for crap teams. That's why they're getting so many saves. They're getting peppered with shots.
I
don't think that's
you know what? You took the words right out of my mouth. Yeah.
I don't think that's
but
the right stats to look at, man. You know.
But then again, the keeper's got to be in a
Here's the
position
picture.
to make the saves as well.
Yeah, guys, so here's a free kick. Nabil might have had it before me.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, that was close.
Yeah, all
That was
day,
close.
all
Yeah, it covered.
day,
So-
all day.
So Cam says, overall, we've been pretty poor in the second half, but what I like is that it seems that we can score any time. I don't think we've been poor. As I said, Bournemouth came out with a different game plan, flooded the midfield, and that's really worked for them. We've not had to do anything, bro. We've not had. We're 3-0 up. We've gone from fourth gear down to second gear, and I don't think we've geared up in the entire second half. And sometimes you just do that.
So,
Yeah,
guys, based on our conversation about goalkeepers, so we know that obviously some of the other keepers have got lots more saves because their defenses are crap. But based on clean sheets last year, Alisson 20, Edison 20, guess who came third?
Who?
Hugo Lloris.
Lloris.
Yeah. So that guy that you said you didn't think was all that had
I don't like him. I don't
four
know.
more clean sheets than Aaron Ramsdale.
Zinchenko on the left.
Maybe it's the Spurs thing, but I think he's rubbish. I don't even know why he's a Spurs captain. He's just...
Yeah, I think his best days are behind him.
And then
Arsenal here. Bournemouth are in the press here, guys, in the midfield.
Oh,
Arsenal
look
breaking the
at
press really well.
Come
It's a ball over.
Oh,
It's
what a
fallen to Xhaka.
reverse
Xhaka goes
ball.
through to Jesus. He's got a chance. It's a save by the goalkeeper. It's a great
What a
save.
reverse ball. Come on,
It's a great
boys.
save.
Oh,
Guys,
mate.
just want to say one thing on that set. You just saw there, Bournemouth flooded the midfield, went straight into the press. Arsenal,
Who was that?
what happened? Arsenal beat the press, counter-attack, and as soon as you knew it, ball into the box, shot on the goalkeeper. It's a great save by the goalkeeper.
Hang on,
Who
wait.
played
Was
that
that
pass? Who
reverse
played that
pass
pass?
by
Is that
Granit
Xhaka
Xhaka?
or is that Martinelli?
That's
Who
Xhaka.
played that
Granit
reverse
Xhaka.
ball?
It was
Xhaka.
Granit Xhaka.
That was
Look
a
at the
beauty.
ball from Granit Xhaka.
That was
A
beauty.
no-look pass.
It was beauty. Reverse
Tierney
pass.
is coming on now, guys, and so is
Say it again,
Sandy.
T. Say it again, T. No look pass.
Arsenal have
What,
used
look at
no
his
reverse
no-look
pass.
pass. Oh, my God. What a pass.
And
That was
also, I
beauty.
have to say that when Jesus' shot was saved, Saka came in with the rebound, and it was a double save. So credit to the goalkeeper for that.
Wow.
I thought that was Arsenal 4-0. Gary said, Bertram says Ramsdale is good, but he makes a major mistake almost every game. Bertram, what's important is that he doesn't make mistakes leading to goals.
I
And
wouldn't
we've had
agree with
plenty of
that.
that by Bert
I wouldn't
Leonard.
agree
Yeah,
with
but
that.
you
That's-
still,
Gary
the
says
thing is,
overcooking.
yeah,
we
if you're
are just
still
getting
making
ourselves
that
in
wouldn't
mistake,
trouble
agree
with
with that
stupid
either.
play.
I would agree with that. Makes a major mistake every game. Where do you get that from?
no, he did. He
Major.
like
Give it a
he done things like he kicks the ball out and it goes to the opposition player like 10 yards away.
Who? Aaron Ramsdale.
Aaron Ramsdale, yeah.
Every
Yeah.
game.
I think there's a difference
What are
between
you
major
talking
mistake and mistake.
Yeah, come on,
and-
mate.
And I
He
think
makes
a major
mistake.
mistake is what leads to
No.
the opposition scoring goals.
Taking a
you
shot
can
on
make a major mistake and the
Apollo,
opposition miss the
a
opportunity
major
to
mistake.
capitalize.
A major mistake is you making a mistake that leads to a chance on your goal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No way does he do that every game. Give me
I
a
agree,
break.
Nabil.
No
Cam
chance.
says
Let's-
this
let's
is what
have- let's
happens
try
when
and
you
find
set
that
a plan.
statistic.
Believe in a manager and invest in youth. Give the club an identity too. There's a positivity and buzz around Arsenal. It's showing throughout the whole club. Victor says Zinchenko or versus Kieran Tierney dilemma. Who should we start? You know my thoughts on that one.
He's still on the
Cam
pitch.
says,
He's still on the pitch. That tells you everything you need to know.
I know one of you guys. He's been one of our best players today. There's no two ways about
He's
it.
been awesome, bro.
Cam says Zinchenko. Gary says Kieran Tierney and Sam beyond for 3 minutes. Yeah, that's what and that's just to give them a little bit of a run out. Bertram said it's not disputable. What's not disputable? Oh, Ramsdale. He's talking about Ramsdale. Jesus captain. Yeah. Because he is, isn't he? It's the whole vice captain thing. Bertram says
well
Apollo.
done. Unlucky.
Don't just a
Well
portion
in.
of my
Go
comment.
up a shot, mate.
I thought I read
Come
out your
on,
whole
boy.
comment. You're talking about getting punished for mistakes and Ramsdale. There's your comment there, Bertram. Makes a major
Nice
mistake every
play,
game.
Arsenal.
He just doesn't. Oh, but yeah, Bertram says he just doesn't get punished for his mistake. Then it's fine. It's okay then.
It's not.
Because a
Yeah,
lot
Yeah,
of
but it's
goalkeepers
still a
do that.
mistake, Apollo.
yeah, it's a
Yeah.
mistake. I'll have that. I'll have mistake, but to say major mistake, I won't have.
Yeah, but because Tony, when I watch football, I see that happen all the time. I watch a Spurs game today. The same thing happened when I watch Man City and Liverpool. Their goalkeepers make, but they're not major mistakes. They're just they're just mistakes, and
Yeah,
it could be. You know, when you're playing distribution and your long passes, not all of them are going to connect. You know, these guys ain't robots.
It's
They're
not. It's
human,
not.
So
So we don't count a misplaced pass as distribution as a mistake. What we mean when we say a mistake is when you come out for a ball and you miss the ball, and the player who goes past you misses the goal. Yeah.
oh, well, I don't. Yeah, that's not happening.
Do you remember that game where he runs out and he missed the ball completely?
Come on, mate. He's playing in goal, man. Have you never played in goal? I've never seen a
played in goal,
perfect.
but that doesn't mean to say I can't see a mistake.
No, but I've never seen a goal. I've never seen a keeper, not a perfect keeper who don't make mistakes. I mean, especially
Okay, I
throughout
think
the
you
season.
need to watch more Man City games and Liverpool
No,
games.
I was gonna.
No,
I was
I
actually,
see-
no,
I
no,
see
no, no,
the
hold on.
innocent-
I was actually going to say that. I was actually
I
going to
see
say that.
them making a holy pursuit. I don't know.
Yes.
Come on, guys.
I was going
I
to
see
say
them
exactly
making
that.
horrible
I was going to
mistakes.
say exactly that. I've seen Edison and Allison make it's mistakes that lead to goals.
Yeah,
like
but
it's
how
all
many
you.
times do they do that in a season?
Well, I've seen
bro?
them do it, bro. I've seen them do
Yeah,
it
me
last
too.
season.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
don't,
but
you don't
how
get
many
perfect
times?
goalkeepers. You don't get perfect
So, guys,
goalkeepers.
man of the match has been given to Jesus.
He's worked his socks off.
It's going to be a hard one for me. I
You
think
know,
I'll have to watch
He's
the
had
highlights.
an assist.
Wow.
He's worked his socks off.
And that's the
How's
impact.
he got
That's
the
the impact you
captain's
want.
armband on? Oh yeah, because Xhaka
Yeah.
went off for Lakonga, so hence he's now the captain.
Oh, I'm gonna have to think about that one.
That's going to be a tough one, which is good.
About that one.
It's going to be a tough one.
He's had a goal disallowed. He's had a shot saved as well.
And an assist.
Yeah, and an assist.
Is it one assist?
Yeah, one assist. Yeah.
But didn't Odegaard get 2 goals today?
Yeah, he did,
Yeah.
and he nearly got an assist on that Jesus goal.
Yeah,
Actually,
yeah.
So he's got to be in the question for man of the match, you know.
Yeah.
Well, Odegaard's. I thought Odegaard's had a fantastic game.
I think the hardest thing about when it comes to us choosing a man of the match is that we've got such a cutting edge in attack. Martinelli, Odegaard, Jesus, they've all been really good. But
And
hold up, what happens is you because of that, you start to look over the contributions of players like Zinchenko and Partey and Saliba.
I mean, let's not forget, boys.
For me, I'm going with Zinchenko. I think he's been outstanding today. He's been
and don't forget, boys, Saliba hasn't put a foot wrong in this game and has scored a screamer.
Yeah.
Tony, I hate when you say that because you just talked about my man of the match.
Yeah.
Saliba, you going for Saliba?
Has not put a foot wrong,
Saliba.
scored a screamer, and we're on a clean sheet.
Yeah, I'm going for Saliba. Because remember, I told you that they hit 3 balls over to him as well, and he just snuffed them out.
Yeah.
Also, I pointed out that he was the one that put that corner header out wide, where which Ramsdale was forced into a save on. If you look closely, it was him that was doing that. So Saliba's going for my man in the match.
I think
Bertrand says
Saliba or Zinchenko for me.
Bertrand said, I want to hear comments when it happens against the better teams and we get punished. I think it does happen, Bertrand, but I think as Arsenal fans, we're just overly critical of our team, and that's just who we are. Gary says, fair play, Bertrand. Bertrand's man of the match.
Come on, mate.
Is Bournemouth.
Leave it.
Kurt saying Saliba, man of the match for him as well. Guys, in the chat, let me know who your man of the match is. It'd be very interesting to see what you guys are going to say.
I don't really need to see the game twice to get a man of the match because I'm too busy watching.
Nice pass.
You know?
Nice.
You should have finished that one, right?
Okay, that's the final whistle, guys.
Great.
There's a lot of talk. There's a lot of talk that when you make comments, when you observe things that need to be improved, that you're being overcritical. And I just think we need to recognize the balance in some situations. You know, there's nothing wrong with saying in areas where the players can improve, because actually they can be improved, and it's not being overly critical.
Yeah.
Sometimes we just have to state things as it is, and when they come back, as Odegaard did today, he's played a better game than he did the last game. There's nothing wrong with that. It's nothing wrong with saying you're being negative or you're being overcritical. I just think we need to just recognise when players do play poor and coming in and out of games. Look at Saka in his last game. He wasn't there. And today he's had a better contribution. He's more coming inside and not hugging on the outside. So it's not being overcritical. It's just observing where players can improve.
100%, Tone. 100%. You know, I think, the bill is bang on about Zinchenko. The quality is unbelievable.
I like that little talk between Arteta and Thomas Partey just now. Do you see that?
Yeah, it's very nice.
You know, that's his anchor man, mate. You know, I'm not sure what they were saying there, but he's happy with his performance. He's very happy with him.
I think for me, you know, we had last week where Saliba scored the own goal, and then when he touched the ball again, the Emirates crowd, they just cheered him. The second time he touched the ball, 10 minutes after that, they gave him a standing ovation. And then a few minutes later, he saves one off the line. And then today, he scores the goal, and the whole team are just all over him. It's just so beautiful to see.
I'm telling you now, bruv, they need to sort this guy's contract out. Quick time.
Oh, come on, mate.
Because that goal there alerts the whole of Europe about him.
It's nervy.
They was already taking a sniff, but now.
Can I say something, Tony? I just want to say something about that really quickly, though. I honestly do believe Saliba wants to play for Arsenal. He wants to stay. He wants to play for Arsenal. I really do believe that.
I think once you're in that environment...
I think Saka's the worry. I think Saka is the worry.
You know what? I'm ready to cash in on Saka. Because I think you can get wingers. Wingers are all over the place. I like Saka. I'm not saying I'm desperate to get rid of him, but you can get wingers for fun.
Yeah, I agree with you. I actually agree with you. I mean, I wouldn't want to sell Saka. I tell
you what, it's akin
just
to,
a second, Tony. Just a second, Tony. I tell you what, my thinking with Saka is that I do think, I'm not saying he's getting a bit too big for his boots, but I think he's had his head spun a little bit. Right, I'd like to tie him up, and the reason why I'd like to tie him up because at his age, there's a lot of development. There's a lot he can offer the team, and I'll tell you what, if he's progressing the way we see him trending, you're looking at a £150 million player plus in the next couple of seasons. So from an investments, Hale End Academy costs you nothing. From a development perspective, you really do want to tie him up and develop him. But I agree with what you're saying in that when I look across Europe, when I look at Gakpo, when I look at this other boy, Moussa Diaby, I think his name is, there's a lot of boys with really solid end product.
Correct.
And his end product isn't fantastic at the moment. So I know what you're saying. I mean, when you're looking at Saliba and you're looking at his age and you're looking at what he can bring, that's a hard find right now in Europe. You're going to spend a lot of money to get a defender like that. So I agree with what you're saying. But I on a best case scenario, I'd want to tie them both up.
So just to follow in the bill, and Tony, you're talking about Saka. Would you say this is now down to Arteta's development of the player and what is the ceiling that Saka can actually be? Because obviously right now, this guy's played constant football for 4 years, okay? But when we're looking at that development that you're going to expect from that type of player, when you're talking about the wealth of ability in Europe, how is Arteta the right man to get that out of him, and B, what is Saka's ceiling? You know,
I'll tell you what. For me, sorry to put it in PlayStation terms, but for me, I see Saka somewhere like a 86, 85, 86. He might even get a little markdown because his end product ain't that great. But under Arteta, I can see him being an 88. 89. I can see him 2-3 seasons. I can see him being an 88, 89. The point that Tony's making, and what I agree with, is that there's players out there who I think you can take to 91, 92, 90s easily. Gakpo and Diaby, just two off the top of my head, I can see them getting there quite easily. And, they're out there being bandied around for 50 odd 60 million, So
I wouldn't sell Saka. Me personally,
I wouldn't sell him. I wouldn't sell him.
From a club,
I would.
I know from a financial aspect, yes, you're going to make money, but I think it shows the wrong direction or where the club needs to go with a player of his ability. So he's young enough to work with, but it's whether or not Arteta's going to eat that caliber out. Because if he doesn't do that in 2-3 seasons, then your argument is completely valid, because we need that type of production.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you get the right money, you could reinvest it in as good a winger and another player, and that makes business sense, business-wise. From a sentimental point of view, he's a Hale End product. I love the kid. I think he's got a very high ceiling still, but he's by far not irreplaceable. And as I said, if you get the right amount of money, it would make total business sense.
So would you say that you would, when Arsene Wenger sold Anelka and the way how Anelka was impacting the Arsenal team, you would say right now would be the right time to sell Saka, because we don't have anybody that has that impact in the team, but you're saying that Arsenal would need to then go out and acquire somebody to fill that gap.
So the equivalent would be if somebody came in and offered 100 million plus for Saka, and you went and got Cody Gakpo for 40 million, and you still had 60 million to go and buy Milosevic Savic.
No, but I got to stop you there, guys. I got to stop you there. Look, we got to. That would
just be
just a second, Tony.
The perfect deal.
Tony, just a second, because we've got to speak in realistic terms here. First and foremost, right? Saka's on how long has Saka got left on his contract? I'm sure he's got.
Yeah.
Well, you're not going to get that much money for him. With a year left on his contract.
Dude.
Hold up. 1 second, real quick. Yeah. This for me is a non-negotiable. Even if you give him silly money. Players like Saliba and players like Saka, you have to sign them. Even if you're planning to sell them. It's a no-brainer, because
business.
Give him a 5-year contract, and next year you're getting 100 mil plus, anywhere around the 100 mil. Right now, you will not get nowhere near 100 mil for Saka.
Yeah, Nabil, sorry, his market value is 96 million.
Not with
Nabil.
1 year on his contract.
He doesn't have 1 year left on his contract. He's got 2 years left.
Okay, right. 2 years. I still don't think you'll get 96 for him. 2 years, you'll get 65 for him. Top whack.
Right now, he's worth that money, because if you're a big money team and you want a player of high caliber to operate the way he can, and you look at his potential, then I could understand. Look, we've seen players go for huge money who are around that kind of standard with that at that age. Yeah. So it's not. I mean, look at Jack Grealish. Who's better out of Saka and Jack Grealish?
Saka for me. Right now.
Right.
Aston Villa, Jack Grealish.
You just answered my question, bro.
You got a different conversation, but that's Man City as well. I mean, personally,
who has a higher ceiling then? If you say, okay, who has a higher ceiling and ability? Grealish
I think Jack Grealish personally. When you're talking about a higher ceiling, yeah, Jack Grealish for me, definitely.
What's going on, Bertram? I think your comments will be good to jump in on this one. I know you're a huge fan of Saka.
I don't want to be viewed as
he's a huge fan of Jack Grealish as well.
I'm a huge fan of footballers. I wouldn't say I'm a huge fan. I mean, you think about the fan. I'm a huge fan of Zaha, by the way. I've said it 24/7. And
you're not allowed to mention
anybody
Zaha
else.
You're not allowed to mention Zaha on this.
No, I'm a big fan of Zaha. I don't care what anybody say. When you're a huge fan of Zaha's game, I don't respect your football acumen. I'm gonna say that plain. If you don't respect Zaha's game, I don't respect your football acumen. So I'll say that plain. I'll take beating for it, but I'll say it all the time. So I'll say this: Saka is a good player, but because he's locally bred, he's a local kid. He's overhyped. I have that discussion with my friends here all the time. He's overhyped, way overhyped. Watch him today. So every time Saka does something, we say he's double and triple team. He was isolated all game today, and he wasn't going down the line and going by his man. How many times did he go by his man in this game, the entire game, isolated one-on-one outside? He didn't go by his man one time. He cuts inside all the time. So then he don't create mismatches when he doesn't go by his man, because you go inside where it's crowded, right? So you don't create those spacing for your team. He's a good player, he's a young player, but he's played 100 Premier League games now. So he's not a youngster. He's a Premier League experience. He's a youngster in terms of age, which is a lot to say with him, given he has come along so quickly and such a young age. When you play 100 Premier League games, you're almost a hardened veteran. So I hope he continues to do well. But what are his greatest attributes? If we think he's so great, what does he do so great that we think he's exceptional and it's worth £100 million?
I'm going to answer this. I'm going to answer this one, guys. And this goes against what Vincey was talking about 10 minutes ago. In terms of we always look at our team in the worst light. Me and Tony was talking to Dave, who's a Chelsea fan. I always talk to my friend Simon, who's a Brentford fan. If you guys tune in on a Friday, you know who these guys are. And the perception from fans from other teams is that he's our best player. Because he's the guy, and let's not forget this, just because he hasn't played well of late and he didn't have strong performances towards the end of last season as well. Mm-hmm. But every time he plays for England, he turns up. Mm-hmm. And he's had a history of the last 2.5 seasons of playing for Arsenal where all the energy has come from him. So let's not forget that, in our discussions. True. Now, the perception from other fans is that he's the guy, he's the face of the franchise. So if this was an NFL team, he'd be the quarterback, because he's young, he's a leader, all the kids love him. I did a thing about it as well when I talked about Arsenal going to America. Arsenal, when they were on tour, you saw these whole banners of him and everything. He had more support out there than any of the other players. And it just goes to show you that type of perception is how he's perceived. So I know we're sitting down and we're talking about, how he looks to us and what we think about his play style and whatever. But the perception outside of our fan base is very different. That's the point I'm trying to get across.
That comment suggests that we only assess our own players and we only critique our own players. I assess players across the leagues that I watch, and Saka is just another player that plays on my team, but I assess Saka like I assess any other player. So here's a question for you: if Rafinha came in our team, would Saka start over Rafinha? That's debatable. Frankly, that's debatable whether he would or not. And my question still has not been answered, which is, what are Saka's exemplary attributes which allows him to be differentiated from other good players in the... So I'll give you an example.
Yeah, I was going to answer the Saka versus Rafinha thing, and then I'll come to you, Vincey. Yes, Saka still would be starting for two reasons if Rafinha came in. One, because Saka had better numbers than Rafinha last season. Saka was the third most creative person in the league in terms of chances created. He had the same amount of goals as Rafinha, and he had double the amount of assists. The second reason why is because they would move Saka to the left and put Rafinha on the right. That's how they would have done it.
So don't conflict. No. Let me just say this: don't confuse attributes with stats. Your attributes.
I'm just giving you an answer to your question. Wait. I'm not confusing anything.
But I'm gonna come back to you. There is whether you're quick, are you skillful, are you good in the air. Those are your attributes. Your stats, your output. Saka had 11 goals and 7 assists last year.
Yeah, Rafinha had 11 goals, 3 assists.
Wait, let me finish. 9 goals from open play, about 3 goals early in the season, about a clock of about 5 or 6 goals in the 17-18 game, 3 goals subsequent, and I think 2 were penalties. Last 7 games, he scored penalties, scored no goal last 7 games. We need him to show that he's a dominant player. This is not just knock Saka, but we got to be careful when we're assessing stats and competence and attributes, and be transparent in how we view this and be objective how we view this. Good player, young player, has upside, but I still haven't heard his differentiating attributes, which is what I'm
okay. All right, so Bertrand, what I was going to say here, Saka's right now, his market value is about 58 million right now. I'm just going to throw that out right now. 58
the market value is what somebody's willing to pay for you.
Right. Yeah, and on transfer market, it's double that.
So,
yeah, go on.
So looking at, you're talking about Saka's attributes. Well, this is the dilemma that Arsenal are in. Arsenal went out and bought Pepe for his dribbling ability and his finishing. And hold-up play with that. But Saka's actually, his biggest attribute is his hold-up play. So he's doing from the academy what we'd spent good money for in Pepe. But the ceiling right now in regards to his next level, that's the transition that is going to be difficult, because you've seen in areas where his finishing's not there because he's young and it hasn't been developed. His awareness to drift inside with the ball. Maybe also it's a case where Arteta wants him out on the flank. So I see there's a lot of versatility within Saka in where he can play left or right. I know when Apollo says, well, Rafinha will go on the right and Saka will go on the left. Rafinha's more of a skillful player. So when you got the attributes from a winger and what's going to cause you problems, Saka is causing problems for other teams. But for what we actually need him on the ball to do, that's where we're probably having this debate as to say, okay, we can probably look for a better player in that position. So for me, his biggest attribute in this Arsenal team is his hold-up play.
So when we talk about hold-up play, we normally attribute hold-up play to a center forward. In wingers, we're looking for people who can get by people, run into space, get by you, create space, drop the ball in the middle on a dime, be able to be good left or right foot. Some people are one-footed. We just mentioned, Vincey, that his hold-up play is his biggest attributes, but is what we want from a CF center forward. Not necessarily attribute hold-up play to a winger per se. What you're alluding to is a very safe player. So when he gets it, he stops it. Look how he plays. He stops it, put his left foot, jockey, then slide inside. Or he lays it back. Does he put on his right foot and go down the line to go by you? When then you have to scramble as a left back or right back?
I got to disagree with you. I got to disagree with you on that one, because he did do that last year. I mean, he's not prolific at that. I agree with you on that. But to say he doesn't do it, he does. He's been a real threat, getting past the last man, cutting the ball back. And that's one. I think that's probably the fact that he's direct and he's an outlet. It's probably his biggest outlet, or biggest attribute. But I think the thing about Saka, the what makes Saka good, is the all-round package. Defensively and organizational, his positional play is good. Tactically and technically, he's aware. He's an outlet in the midfield. He started off kind of midfield player. He's an outlet in midfield. He keeps the ball ticking over. He doesn't lose possession in that middle of the park area. He doesn't choose the wrong option. The build-up play is good. He can get down to the byline. He can get inside. I think his all-round play is what's good about him. The downside to him is I don't think his final ball or his final, like the score, he doesn't score enough for me. Yes, he creates chances, Apollo's alluded to, but I don't think he chooses the right option all the time. But he's young, and I think what the conversation that we're having, I mean, he is good. He is definitely he's definitely got to be in one of our in the top 5. But for me, I think we have got, like Apollo just said, as a club, you've got to look at what is his market value. If you're going to tell me a kid like that with 5-year contract in Arsenal Football Club is worth 100 million plus, come on, mate. You've got to deal with that properly. And you've got to make sure you get that 100 million plus and don't lose it like you had with other players. If you're going to sell him, that's what you're going to do. You can't lose him on a free contract. You can't sell him half price because his contract's run down. You've got to stick the contract in front of him, sign him up, regardless of who you think is out there and who you think can do better. Buy his replacement for 50 million. Gakpo's out there for 50 odd million. Buy his replacement for if you're going to do that. But for me, you've got to sign him up. 5-year contract. You don't like him. You're thinking what Bergkamp's thinking. You're thinking what Tony's thinking. Fine. But if you don't get 100 million for Saka, if you're going to lose him, then you're not a good business club.
Okay, guys, listen, guys. Sorry, guys. No, sorry, guys.
I never said.
We've gone on a bit too long on this, and we've got to talk about the game that we've just watched.
Can I have a final comment, please? Final comment.
Hold on, Bertram.
I agree.
Bertram, hold on. Vinci had his hand up before you, so I'll go to Vinci and then I'll go to you, Bertram. Go on, Vinci.
I just wanted to say, Bertram, I know you're saying about his hold-up play, but we weren't getting that from Aubameyang. We weren't getting it from Lacazette. And
don't talk about Aubameyang. He doesn't play football. He's a goal scorer.
No, we're talking about the system. We're talking about the player and what he did. Right. Okay, so let's be fair. What we're getting from Saka is what we're not getting from our 2 strikers. So look at the way how we're moving the ball, and he's giving us that. That's all.
Here's my last point on this, guys. 2 things. One is I don't disagree about signing up our players, period. Because what you have in your final year contract is what we have with Tielemans. So now your value is depreciated significantly. Unless you're a Jesus or a Sterling who are proven commodity and get a decent fee for you. You should always keep your assets. I mean, lock your assets in so you can maximize your return on your asset. That's fundamental. Secondly, certain players never get shown up when better players arrive. So think about Grealish going to Man City. Dominant at Villa, the only man at Villa. He goes to Man City, he's an afterthought because he doesn't score. And then you can't see what value he's producing because they don't need to hold the ball up. They're very fluid. You'll see that with Saka a little bit, not to knock the kid. So Apollo, the floor is yours, but I am not saying we should sell Saka. I think Saka and Saliba should be locked up and give them whatever money they want.
Yeah,
period.
I agree.
Not no 70,000, not no 80,000. They want 120, 130. But you pay Pepe 140, give them the 120, 130.
I agree.
Yeah, I think you've all
they're going to go to better teams who can afford to pay them.
I think you've all made some good, valid points, and within all of your points, there's definitely something in there in terms of the direction of the team. I always go back to last season. Bertram said, "Look, everybody's expendable." There isn't one person on the pitch that you would say is not unsellable. I think this year you look at the team, and that probably changes a little bit. But at the same time, if you're looking always to upgrade on a team or on a position for everything like that, then you have to have the mentality that no man is exempt. Yeah, and that can only be good for the team. We're sitting here today in the stream talking about Tierney versus Zinchenko, Ben White versus Tomiyasu. you know, and all the other stuff going around, Saliba, Ben White, and whatever. But what it does is it leads to us actually being a better team and improving at each position. So I applaud that, and I'm going to advocate for that all day long, and that can only improve us. So guys, let's get on with the player ratings now. Today, I mean, I said 2-0 today, but again, I have to go back on what Vincey was saying. It wasn't the scoreline for me. It was just the performance. I felt like at times I was watching Man City. It just looked so professional. And even when you saw Bournemouth, there was an instance that I talked to you guys about, which I pointed out, where Bournemouth were flooding us with the press. And what happened? Arsenal won the ball back, 2 passes into the stream to Gabriel Jesus. He shoots, the goalkeeper makes a save, and he makes a double save, actually, because Jesus, his rebound forced to Saka, and Saka's shot is saved again by the leg. So Bournemouth looked at that and thought, God, even if we press them, if we continue to do that, we're going to go down 5-6-0 here. So you can see it was just such a professional performance by the team. And again, that goes by the finishing article. So here's my player ratings. I'm going to go with Ramsdale. I'm going to go with a 7. And I thought he was neat. I thought he was really called into action. We talked about in the first half when they had 0 shots, 0 passes in the box. So it kind of made his life a little bit easier. But when he was called upon, he was there. Not too much distribution issues today, although we saw that ball that was kicked out. The referee was always going to flag that, because if a forward runs up to a referee and you know, blocks him or disrupts that ball being played out, that's always going to result in a free kick. So I'm going to give him a 7 today. Ben White, I'm going to give him a 7 as well. I thought he contributed better than he did last week, and he's starting to look a little bit more settled in at that right back position. His deliveries are on point as always. You know, we've been saying he's that David Luiz replacement in terms of bringing the ball out. Twice today we saw him run the length of the field when nobody's closing him down. He has the ability to roam forward and cause disruption in the final third. And I think what we saw from him today that we hadn't seen in the first 2 games was his overlapping. His overlapping was the key to our score in the second goal as well. So well done to Ben White. You get a 7. Saliba is my man of the match. He gets a 9. An absolute flawless performance from him. Scores his first goal with a striker-like finish. What? He didn't even take a touch on it. He hit it first time. Goalkeeper, you see on the replay, which was behind the goal, how acute and smart that was. And the reception that he got for scoring, that was brilliant. Just absolutely sublime. But defensively, he was cool under pressure. 3 times he spotted out one-on-one through balls. And that header, which I talked to you guys about, he actually got his head on it. It looked like both of them connected on it, which forced the ball to go wide. I know Ramsdale made a save, but it was really a play that William Saliba had made and not the goalkeeper, because the ball was going wide. Gabriel, I'm going for a 7. I thought a little bit more rugged performance than Saliba today, but he continues to get the job done, and he's being no frills about it. He's the one that's normally putting the ball in the back of the net as well, so it's nice to see another centre-back score a goal. Zinchenko, guys, I'm going to give Zinchenko an 8. Someone get the heat map out. I want to see this guy's heat map. There was twice that I said to you guys, he went over to Ben White's side on the right-hand side to make tackles, to bust up breaks and moves that Bournemouth was making. And then he was always a threat in the final third, picking up the ball in the midfield, holding it to that. His positioning just gave Bournemouth a nightmare. If they had a person marking him throughout the game, look, man, it's a total performance from him. I like what I see from this kid. And seriously, I don't even know how Tierney gets his job back. Thomas Partey today, guys, in the midfield, he gets a 7.5. Went about his business. I don't think Partey even got out of Tommy's biting his nails because he's probably read some stats from who scored. But
I've just seen your Xhaka rating.
I've never seen him. I've never seen Thomas Partey do his job so well with putting in so little in the role. So, yeah, good game today. Thomas Partey gets a 7.5. Xhaka, I thought Xhaka took up good positions. I thought he did well for the assist. And I mean, it was one of his quieter games, but I thought that, you know, his positioning and the way he helps the team, especially on the Saliba goal, as I said, good control, one touch for the Saliba ball. If you look to see how Saliba received the ball, it was a nice, flat, well-weighted pass in order for Saliba to hit it first time. So I thought he did well on that, but I thought outside of that, he was a little bit quiet, so I'm giving him a 6.5. Saka gets the same rating, and I thought Saka had a good first half as well. I thought he got involved, as I said, on the rebound on Jesus's shot. I thought Saka could have gone in there with the rebound and tied it up. But where Saka's strengths are is that he's always a handful in one-on-one situations, and we're not really seeing that this season. And I don't know why. Last week I gave him a 4 out of 10. This week he fared better, and that's why I made a point of it in the first half, saying Saka looks a bit lively today. But he does damage in the final third when he's just running at you, and we're not really seeing that from him. What I did like today was, I said last week he was out on an island on the right-hand side. He needs to get himself more involved in the game, and he did that. I saw him today come into the penalty area, playing a bit more central and getting himself. So I thought it was a better game from him today. He gets a 6.5. Odegaard, I thought, was just tremendous today. I thought he was just forget the goals after being criticised. Actually, no, let's talk about the goals. After being criticised for not pulling the trigger against Palace and not taking a shot straight away, he made a big thing about that in his pre-game comments, which you saw in my game vlog for last week in the captain's notes. He said, I should have pulled the trigger. I should have done it instead of trying to pass it off and look pretty. And today you saw the answer to that. It was no nonsense. He just got his head down, put his boot through the ball, 2 goals. So it just goes to show you that translation from him talking about those events over the first 2 games into today, where he's just said, look, I'm not going to try and make it look pretty. I'm just going to put it on the, I'm just going to put it on the money, hit the target and get the goals. And that's what he did today. So it was super efficient from him in terms of him doing that. And the assist for Jesus's goal, which was disallowed, was just sublime. But his overall handling of the ball and the build-up play is just on point for him. He would have got close to being man of the match for me had it not been for performances elsewhere. Jesus, I'm going to give him an 8. Just the total game, but it's week 3 already, and this guy's had a 9, an 8.5, and an 8. And he just consistently just gets involved in everything that goes around in the final third. He drops out on that left side, gets involved. His work rate is just incredible. And the way, guys, he's fit into the team in just a few matches is incredible. It is. Just, we're talking about 3 games now. And it's almost like, we talk about players who are adjusting to different teams and things like that. He's here for a reason, and that's because Arteta knows he can get the job done. Martinelli, I thought, was a little bit more quiet. He was involved in the first half, and I thought he had that energy that gave Bournemouth a lot of problems, especially from set pieces. You can see Odegaard and him are sharing the set pieces. But I thought in the second half, he just dropped off a little. So, look, he's still okay. I think I give him a 7.5. Arteta, I'm going to give him a 9.5 today. I don't think Arteta could have played it any better than he did. Going to Bournemouth, away from home and winning 3-0. I talked to you about Liverpool. Liverpool's first 2 games have been tough, and they haven't even got 3 points up on the board. And it just goes to show you, it makes you humble as a fan to appreciate what your team can do in this tough climate. Go and look at the teams who have played Crystal Palace after we did, after week 1, and see how tough this league is. So well done, Arteta. Again, preparation, setting your team up, getting their head right, and the total performance for 90 minutes. Tony, actually, no, Bertram, you came in late, so I'm gonna let you go and get your numbers up first. But before you do that, Tony's got something today. Tony, what's up?
Yeah, sorry, pal. Because I've got to get to this wedding thing. If you don't mind.
Okay, go on. Yeah.
You can pull my ratings up from the chat.
Did you send it internally? No, you didn't.
I think it's in private.
No, it's not private. It's in the group chat.
Okay. Yeah, I don't see it. If you can see it on your screen, send it again internally, because I can't see it. Sometimes sometimes people in the chat have complained about their numbers not coming through as well. So it's just a bit.
You know what? I had this with Alex at
Cannon fodder.
Cannon fodder.
Yeah, it's just the way how the algorithm works for YouTube. Yeah. Sometimes if it thinks
because you can see my post saying hit the like button, but you can't see the team.
Yeah, it does that. A couple of the guys complained about it last year.
Yeah.
Can you remember what they are off the top of your head?
Yeah. I'll just go with what I remember. In fact, I can just load it up from my screen. So I gave Ramsdale 7. I gave Zinchenko 8.5. I think I gave Gabriel 8. Gave Saliba 9 as man of the match for me. Gave Ben White 8. Partey was an 8. Xhaka was a 7.5. Odegaard was an 8. Then Saka was a 6.5. Jesus was 8.5. Martinelli 7.5. And I gave Arteta, I think, 9. And I wrote in that basically the team is picking itself. He actually doesn't have to do anything because it's quite clear we have a first 11 which cannot be upgraded at this moment in time. Well, I say that. I think Tomiyasu will be pushing Ben White for the right back slot. But I don't think anywhere else on the pitch you could say...
So can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we see Guardiola, when he gets in that position, just tinker the crap out of that team. And we see Jurgen Klopp where he doesn't. And which direction do you think Arteta's going to go in? Do you think he's going to be more Klopp or more...
At this stage in the season, when you're playing a game a week, you can stick to the same 11 and let them build that confidence, let them learn that understanding of what you're prepared to do in the week. But when we start getting to 3 games a week, I think that all of a sudden changes things. You then have to tinker.
Yeah, because you're going to see some performances in the Europa League where you're going to say, oh, this guy needs to play in the first team.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
So that's your ratings,
now, yeah?
Okay, Nabil, I'm going to go with Bertram first because Bertram's joined the stream late.
Let Nabil go. I think Nabil said he has to go also, so let him go.
Oh, wow. Okay, all right.
Take care, guys. Enjoy the
stream. Nice one, Tony. Appreciate your time, mate.
All the best.
Yeah, Nabil, you said you've got to go as well, yeah?
Sorry, he's gone, yeah? Yeah, I do. I've got to go in about 5 minutes, to be fair.
Okay, so you do your ratings then.
Okay, all right, you left them up, yeah?
Yep.
Some of the low. All right, so Ramsdale, 7, agree with that. White, I give him more, 7.5. William Saliba, yes, I give him a 9. Gabriel, I give him an 8. Zinchenko, I give him an 8.5. Partey, I give him an 8. Saka, I give a 7.5. Saka, I give a 7. Odegaard, I give a 8. Odegaard, 2 goals, really played well. I give Odegaard a 9. I give him a 9. Jesus as well, instrumental. He was very instrumental. I'm very generous today. I'm going to give Jesus a 9 as well. Martinelli, again, he was pretty lively to start, kind of faded out towards the end, but yeah, I'm going to stick with the 7.5 you've got. The man of the match for me, and it has been a big dilemma, but I think that goal from Saliba as well was real class, kept a really good performance. He's always solid, holding down his spot. Odegaard was a real contender for man of the match for me as well. It's difficult. Jesus again was instrumental. Zinchenko was everywhere, but I'm inclined to agree with you and go with Saliba and Arteta again. I agree with you again on that. 9.5 for me as well.
Isn't it nice, Nabil, where you've got instances where you don't even know who the man of the match is because so many players played well? How many times have we actually sat down here and had that conversation?
I mean, we started the conversation like that today when we talked about who the top 3 players, and you just can't, and you're struggling to pick them. And again, you know, looking at the top performers today, I'm not going to mark anybody down. I think Saliba gave a 9 out of 10 performance. I think Odegaard gave a 9 out of 10 performance, and I think Jesus did as well. What did they do wrong, and what did they give? You know, they gave a lot. We finished up 3-0 winners. They was all involved in that from the word go. You know, you can see, and you know, Odegaard does so much that we kind of, you know, it's not like easy on the eye, so to speak, but it keeps us ticking over. And I can't mark you down for that. It might seem a bit generous, but I'm going to stick with that. I'm going to give them all 9s. Saliba, Odegaard, and Jesus. For me, they all get 9 out of 10 for me.
GK, good to see you. GK says Xhaka put in a good 7. Moses, it's good to see you, Moses, as well. Moses said Arteta asked about Saliba's goal. Says with a grin, we've been training that hard all week. It's good to see. LJ1 says he's just subscribed. Thanks very, very much, bro. I've actually just looked at the subscription and 17 people have subscribed on this stream alone. So welcome to all of you guys who have just joined the channel. Big shout out to all of you guys. Hit that like button, everybody, and support the channel. We are here morning, noon, and night. You know how it goes already. Vincey, do you mind if I go to Bertram? Because as I said, he's not been on the straight. Bertram, you got the coach.
Make him wait.
Yeah, so it's very difficult to grade today's performance. So when the competition is really stiff, then the exemplary performance jumps out at you. When Bournemouth, who look like they didn't turn up today, it's hard. So if I say 5 is the average rating, that means you did what was expected. So over 5 means you're exceeding expectation. It's hard for me to give Ramsdale more than 6 because how many shots did he have to save today? One header that was going out of bounds. So that's why I struggle with these ratings. And it's going to seem like I'm a harsh grader. But if the competition is not playing up to par and challenging you, then how do you demonstrate your excellence? Now, offensively, it's a little bit different because they were packing it in or pressing us. So when you're going forward, it may be more challenging. So here's my grade based on my perspective. Ramsdale 6, White 6.5, Saliba, who's been our best player since preseason, frankly. And I hate this narrative about he need to go away for a third year. That's nonsense. This whole narrative, I hear Lewis espousing that narrative today about he made the France national team while on loan, but he couldn't get into the Arsenal team because he wasn't good enough. In a defense, which keeps leaking goals. I get frustrated hearing that nonsense. But anyway, Saliba, I'm going to give him an 8, even though he scored because he didn't have to do much today. That's what I struggle with. Gabriel 7. Zinchenko, whose skill set is, I mean, not the best one-on-one defender, but excellent, 7.5. Partey is one of my favorite players because there are few CDMs who, when they get the ball, first look for the cutting-edge pass before making a simple 5-yard pass. Watch how he plays.
And has the ability to make that pass, Bertram.
Yeah, always look into where's that penetrative pass I can make. And then when it's not there, he lays it off to get it back to try to do it again. And has the ability, as you're saying, to do that. So I'm going to give Partey a 7.5 also. Xhaka, who I know you love, Apollo, I'm going to give Xhaka a 6. He did have an assist today. Another brilliant look-away pass to Jesus, who he probably should have done better with. Saka, I gave a 5. I'm going to get beaten, but where was he involved in the game today that was dangerous? Created chance? Did he score? In a team that was an easy game, I can't give you more. Odegaard, I gave an 8. He scored 2 goals. I always give a point extra for a goal, so he scored 2 today. Jesus, who is brilliant, and who, by the way, because we talk about Saka a lot, takes the ball up and goes by defenders in the middle of the park where it's more congested. Not on the wing isolated where I have room to maneuver. In the middle of the park, last game he did it, this game he did it. Those in games all the time. Hard to negotiate traffic, he's still going by people. I gave Jesus a 7.5. Martinelli was quiet second half, which is interesting. I think he's a dynamic player. I gave him a 6.5, actually. And I'm going to give Arteta a 10 until we lose. I'm going to give him a 10. We are 100% record. I mean, whatever you're doing is working. When you lose, I'm going to give you less than a 10. But from run on, it's going to be a 10. Because we keep on winning. Not only winning, we're coasting second half. Now, that may be dangerous going forward. because we didn't play well in the second half against Crystal Palace. We weren't that great against Leicester in the second half, and today we weren't that great in the second half. And maybe the game come too easy for us, frankly, given how we transitioned from preseason to now. I'm gonna give him a 10, even though I do have criticism of Arteta and his changes, how dynamic he's a manager in game management. I'm challenged with that. But if you're 100% record and that's what your job is supposed to be, because you're judged on your wins and losses, I'm gonna say you're doing what's doing is right. And look, I'm not gonna say we have an easy game because I think Crystal Palace, you watch them today, and by the way, I love Zaha. I'm gonna say that 101 times. I think we should, if he comes on a free, I know he's lazy, but I would get him. I know Vince is gonna say, heck no, I would get him because one-on-one is dynamic.
You can't argue with that.
See, I don't normally agree with Simon Jordan for most of the times, but I'm gonna agree with his assessment on Ben White. Zaha's scoring goals against defenders on a weekly, and Ben White shuts him out, and yet everyone gives Ben White a 4 for that game.
I don't think Ben White shuts him out because here's the thing about shutout. The pass he gave to Eze, or whatever Eze calls himself nowadays, Eze should have scored that goal. When Ben White lost the ball on the left, came over, he put in Eze one-on-one with Ramsdale, and Eze flushed his line.
But Bertrand, what did I say? Sorry, go on.
But what I would say is this: that Zaha, every week I watch Zaha because I watch Zaha every week. It's like I watch Newcastle every week.
Yeah.
Every time I see him play, the defender who he plays against, I'm sure they don't sleep well.
That's what I said.
The night before, the night afterwards.
Thank you. So that's what I said. So last week, I remember when I came on the stream after the game, and I said to them guys on the panel, guys, Zaha's going to do that to a defender every just the way, and I mentioned this as well, just the way Song is going to do that to a defender. And Song actually hasn't started this season very well.
No, because Apollo, when they played Chelsea, you know what? This is a good manager, you know. Tuchel changed his setup to play James in a box-on-one against Son. Did you notice that? It's a basketball term. Box-on-one, which is he man mark him with James, and everybody plays in normal positions. So that's why guys, Sean hasn't played well, I agree, but he shut him down in that game.
And guys, listen, before I go to Vincey, next week is not going to be easy. Fulham have drawed Wolves, they've drawed Liverpool, and they just beat Brentford today. So this is the Premier League, guys. And you know what? If we do beat Fulham next week, I don't want anybody to say, oh, it's just Fulham. Yeah, because, guys, come on. How long is it? Give Arsenal credit. Give Arsenal credit for the way they're playing. They haven't had 3 wins in a season for the season start since the Invincible season.
Wow.
Yeah, that's how long it's been. 2003, 2004.
Well, we haven't had quality like that since the quality that we've got now. We haven't had in that sort of space of time. I wouldn't say that space of time. It's been good quality Van Persie years and stuff like this, but this is a different. This team, I don't see any real weak spots from 1 to 11 in the first team.
Agreed.
So, Apollo, how good do you have to be to give up Sterling, Zinchenko, and Gabriel? Because you don't think they're not a must-have for your team. So you don't want to lose De Bruyne, you don't want to lose Silva, you don't want to lose Foden. You have the players you don't want to lose, and you're giving up these 3 players who are quality players in teams that compete against you. And you think, you know what? They're not detrimental to my success.
Well, I can't answer that until another 24 hours because they got to go to the Toon Army, and I've got to be honest with you. I think Arsenal are going to come out of this weekend top of the table, but we'll revisit that tomorrow when we're in our internal chat. I just don't see them going to Newcastle and winning tomorrow. And if they do, then credit to the team, credit to Pep, credit to Haaland, credit to De Bruyne. But you know, Newcastle, man, they're going to sneak up on the season. They're going to sneak up on you this season, man. They're going to be a top 6 team this season. Believe me.
No, Vincey, but Apollo, they're hard to play they're hard to play, Apollo, because Haaland is forcing you to go deeper. It's forcing your defense to even drop deeper than they did before because they want them to get behind you. So there's more space in front, and they keep the ball. They're a harder team to play than when they had those other players because you have to be aware about Haaland. You got to play deeper to close that space between your goalkeeper and your centre half. It's gonna be interesting to see what happens. I think Newcastle's gonna struggle against them.
Yeah, Vincent, you got the conch.
Yeah, just talking about that game, I think I'll put that down to a 4-0 Man City.
Me too.
Because you know you got to understand the attention that Haaland demands, and what that does. That gives space behind for, as you can see, what De Bruyne is doing. You know, De Bruyne, Silva, Gundogan, these guys can cause damage behind. So yes, to answer Bertram's comment, you can move on these players and get some money because you've got somebody who now demands you must mark Haaland. If you don't mark him, these guys behind are intelligent enough to put him through. But on to today's game. I think I'm going to go with Ramsdale 6, White I'm going to go 7. I agree with you, Saliba 9. He's just phenomenal in how he's adapting to the league, and that goal is he's going to give teams a worry because I wanted him to score a goal with his head, but to see him score a goal with his foot, you now need to understand what type of a player he has, and Saliba and Arteta can now use him in various different positions now when we have corners.
And that's a fair shot out. That's a fair shot from outside the box as well. He's not just rocketed it like Koulibaly done the other day. Koulibaly smashed the ball, got a lucky screamer out of it. That was a finesse shot. That's what you call a finesse shot from outside the box. From a defender.
And Vinci, not to interrupt you, Vinci, but he didn't become 9 in a year. I'm sorry. He didn't become 9 in 1 year. And constant 9 almost every week in 1 year. I'm sorry.
Bertram, you know what I've said about Saliba, and I'm not moving from the needle, but this guy always had it. He always had it. And I can't have fans turn around and saying, oh, it's the Premiership or it's Arteta, a great masterstroke. This guy had ability, and you just need to have confidence and allow the guy to play. What I don't want to see this season is a lot of the comparisons to Ben White, because yes, we spent 50 million on Ben White. He's got his own attributes, and he has to come into his game and his confidence and realize, you know what, I can still play. Had a good season last year. When you get the opportunities, take it. I don't want White to play like Saliba. I want White to play like White, because I know Saliba, if he plays like Saliba, I don't want all this comparison with Van Dijk. Don't do it. The guy, I'm telling you now, the guy is better than Van Dijk.
What?
I'm telling you now.
Vinci.
He will be better than Van Dijk.
He's got... No, guys.
He will be, or he is?
Van Dijk was a better scorer when he was at Celtic. Look at Van Dijk when he was at Celtic. Yeah, I'm not talking about Southampton. Saliba has walked into this Arsenal team, and look what he's doing. This guy's ceiling. Listen, you can crucify me, but if he's managed right, this guy's walked into the French national team.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying about
Vinci, we're on the same page when it comes to that. But we're talking about Van Dijk. Vinci, we say this. Really gets pressured. Forget about everything else. Really gets pressured in the game. That's an attribute which is exemplary.
They both got the same qualities in that regard. Yeah. But I look at Saliba and this. Listen, bringing the ball out, for me, I'll take Saliba over Van Dijk. Even now, bringing the ball out, I'll take Saliba. But anyway, we digress.
I'm gonna reserve my judgment to the end of the season. If we win, Van Dijk won the league at Liverpool when they bought him. If Saliba wins the league with Arsenal,
don't affect your legacy by saying these things in public air. Vinci taking risks.
No, the reason listen, I like to scout players. That's one thing I do. I don't like to. Okay, let's see the season. I look at the players' ability and I look and see how their desire on the ball. That's why when I looked at Martinelli, I was convinced straight away. I had no fears in putting that guy when Lacazette was injured and we were short up front. Play Martinelli, because I look at the players' attributes and see what they can and can't do. That's how I look at players. I don't need. Yes, at the end of the season, things can go a different way. You can get opportunities and so forth. But I believe in players' attributes. So Gabriel, I'm going to give a 7. I agree with you there. Zinchenko, I think he's had a really good game. I was critical of his defensive abilities, but I was encouraged to see that sprint that he did from the left-hand side over to the right-hand side, got the ball. His intelligence when he's on the ball, he looked very composed, and I was like, wow. that's encouraging. So yeah, I'll give him a hats off for a really great performance. I'll give him an 8. Thomas Partey, I'm going to give probably a 7.5. I'll give Xhaka a 6. Again, I agree with Xhaka, 6.5. Saka, for me, I'd give him a 5. That's 2 games in a row.
A 5.
I thought, yeah, I mean,
I'm giving him a 5 in how he's impacted the game.
You literally just turned up then.
No, I'm not saying he just turned up, but I'm just like, okay, what do we need from Saka in those positions? So Nabil was saying after 20 minutes we're 2-0 up. Okay, and so 20 minutes 2-0 up. How did he impact the game after that? He ended up getting substituted. So I'm going to give him a 5 because it's not to say he was shocking, but that's 2 games in a row. And
yeah, did you hear what I said about him?
Guys, the grade is out of 10. The grade is, this is what I'm concerned about. So we think 5 is a really terrible score.
That's what I'm saying.
We have 4, 3, 2, 1 as other grades you can get.
Yeah,
there's nothing. There's nothing wrong with.
Sorry, Apollo. I'm just going to be really.
There's nothing wrong with Vincey's grade because it's his opinion. Yeah.
Let me give you this. Let me give you this. Right. Sorry, really quickly, just to follow on what Bertram is saying. Really quickly, Apollo. Right. I hear what you're saying with this grade of number 5. It's not being 4. It's not bad. Right. But this is the thing. Right. Okay. Call it the first half. Call it whatever. But he was a threat down that flank. His passing led to Odegaard's goal.
It was the second. Yeah, he played part in the second goal.
He did. Yes.
And you know, he that's what he's there to do. He's there to be a threat down that flank, and he was. He did quieten down, but then again, they shut up shop. We were quite devoid of ideas. Odegaard had a lot of snuffing out. Martinelli, Jesus, they got snuffed out too. But fair play to Saka, you know, going down that flank. We were saying it's all down the right. I mean, down the left. It's all down the left. We have to change our tune because it started to go down the right with him. So I don't know how you can give him a 5 for that.
No, because look, that's his opinion. But what I'm saying is, when I talked about Saka, and you know, Bertram said he didn't do anything, and then I mentioned he did the follow up on Jesus's shot. And then the goal, Saka made the goalie pull off a double save. But I think what I mentioned as well is he was too isolated and out of the game last week, and I wanted him to come in the inside and get more involved. And I thought he did that in the first half today.
Yeah.
Guys, I take on board what you both just said. I'll still give him a 5.5 because
I'm very disappointed with Vincey. Did he affect the game like how Zinchenko affect the game? Like how Odegaard affect the game, like how Jesus affect the game. What the question is, what is your expectation of Saka?
Okay.
What's the expectation of him, and how do you put him based on expectation?
It's important when you say. It's important when you put Saka against Zinchenko and Jesus in how they played that game, because it's night and day. It's night and day. Zinchenko had a really great game. Yeah, Jesus had a really great game. Now, Saka did have good spells in there, but you can't put me personally. I'll give him a 5.5. I'd even go as far as 6 as a top, but there's no way for me that I want to put Saka against Zinchenko and Jesus after that performance.
You have opened up something here, right? Now, do you think? Interesting. Do you think Zinchenko down the left, Gabriel Jesus and his connection with Martinelli, and often veering down the left to link up with Martinelli, right, has had and even Xhaka's like moving all the way down to the left as well. Do you think this might have a bearing on how Saka is playing? Because all you got is Saka is with Ben White behind you, not an orthodox right back, not the greatest and most technically aware in that position. You know, Odegaard's helping out, but he's got to look after the middle as well. Do you think that might have a bearing on what Saka's doing? Because
Vincent, don't do that. Vincent, don't fall into that trap. So here's the thing, guys. Let me say this.
Keep your rating.
But he's got a point. He's got a point because
the rating.
Let me say this, Vincent.
Okay.
Every time Saka doesn't do something, we come up with this rationale why he doesn't. I'm telling you. So here's the example. Odegaard doesn't play a traditional 10. He plays beside Saka. And Odegaard is creative. On the left side, you have Xhaka, who's not creative, helping you out with your left back. So it balances out. So Cedric or Tomiyasu or Ben White are not the most creative right back. Similarly, on the left, Xhaka is not the most creative inside midfielder, frankly. So it balances out. Odegaard, you have Odegaard beside you, doing look-away passes, stepping over, get the ball run between his legs. So net, it balances out. I'm telling you.
I don't think.
Okay, so guys, I just want to give you from my point of view. Yeah, from my point of view, and Vincey, I don't want to annoy you on this statement, but I think we're just underplaying the value of our players because we're not talking about the Palace second goal which he created. We're not talking about the changes he made in his game today, which made him get more involved in the game. Now, whether he was effective or not is a different conversation, but he was more in the game today based on the changes. The way how I'm looking at this, and this is just my personal opinion, is I've made a big thing about what went wrong at the end of last season. And Martinelli, Smith Rowe, and Saka just went missing. In the last 10 games, we hardly got anything from any of those three players.
And Lacazette, by the way.
So we don't talk about Lacazette. Yeah, but because we didn't get anything from him all season. So
no, I'm just saying, it's a front four. We can't just say those three is the front four.
So how I'm approaching this season is who out of those players are the ones that have come back into the fray and stepped up. And if you look at Saka and Martinelli's performances this season, there's only one winner there. And that's how I'm judging Saka. And that's how I'll continue to judge him, because you have a player, the same age, same kind of development level. Both, they both went into the can at the back end of last season. They both need a big season now to kind of charge this thing forward. And there's only one person that's doing it at the moment, and that's Martinelli. And he's setting the tone. And that's what I like. Saka, I believe, will come into his own. I just think it's what's going on with him is definitely a mindset, because when you get the ball and you receive the ball at your feet, it's up to you. It's not got nothing to do with tactics or anything like that, whether you're going to run at a defender. That is you. That's what's up inside here. That's your intensity. That's your, the passion, the desire you have as a footballer to go and make something happen. If you turn around and put the ball backwards, then you've bottled it. Yeah. So from what we've seen from the two performances from Martinelli and Saka, that's how I'm judging Saka as a player this season.
Guys, I'm going to have to shout.
He will have a shorter leash this year.
And just make a move, yeah.
Great
show, guys. Great show. See you on next week. All right, bro.
Yeah, man.
So not to keep talking about Saka, because we over talk about Saka and people do in general, but he's going to have a shorter leash this year than he has in the past, because Jesus is dynamic, Martinelli is dynamic, and if we don't see that dynamism on his side of the field, it's going to start being questioned. I'm telling you, you can get away with it when Laka doesn't produce, or Martinelli is inconsistent, or Smith Rowe is injured. But when you have the other two people who are really producing, and Odegaard is scoring and assisting, and you're not producing, not saying he won't, I hope he does, then it will be showing up much more. And Vieira will be, our Marquinhos, will be chopping at the bits to get into the team.
So, Vincey, I just want to say something to you, Vincey. One thing that I said last week when I looked at the performance was, isn't it great, Vincey? Isn't it fantastic that we had won our first two games of the season last week, and Odegaard hadn't hit his stride yet, Saka hadn't hit his stride yet, and Partey hadn't hit his stride yet. And I think that was a good place to be, because today we saw Odegaard hit his stride. Partey, to an extent, has made himself, he's made his presence felt. I think that's the best, wisest way to use his performance today. But Saka, he's still to come. So isn't it going to, I can see a point where everybody's form starts to kick in at some point, and then you start to get performances all around the pitch. And that's why I showed you a picture of a pink Rolls Royce today from Lady Penelope from the Thunderbirds, because we call Saliba a Rolls Royce, we call Jesus a Rolls Royce, but today it looked like the whole damn team was a Rolls Royce. And when you get your players uplifting and performances from everybody, because that's what it's all about, it's a team game, then I think that we're going to be in a much better place. And what I'm trying to say by that is Saka his form will come to him. He will come.
Guys, I think we've got to understand. Yeah, okay, I'll upgrade Saka to a 6. Okay, but we got to understand this guy has played 4 years of constant football. Okay, so I'm not going to bow to any bare pressure in the panel or the chat with my ratings when we overrating players on that performance, when you want to give Saka a 7 or 7.5 or 8. I'm not going to do it. I'm just not going to do it, because that performance, and it's not critical or savaging Saka, but it was a 6. In that comparison, it was a 6. Now, Apollo, you made reference to Martinelli in the comparison. Well, Martinelli didn't have a lot of football at the start, had a good portion in the middle, and then tailored off towards the end, last few games with niggles and so forth, where we wanted him to have his opportunity up front, but he did have niggles. So this season was always going to be a huge season for Martinelli, just like it was for Smith Rowe, just like it was for Saka in his first 2 seasons. So I'm expecting what I'm seeing for Martinelli right now. I have no doubt that we're going to have better performances from Saka throughout the season. And I'm going to be honest, I had Saka in my dream team. I took him out after last week. So there's a reason why I'm looking and thinking, okay, well, you know what? If I had Saka in my dream team today, what was I getting? So that's why I'm saying 6.
Yeah.
You know,
you can say 5. You can say 5.
Don't take it out of context, but it's like I'm gonna give Saka a 6 based on, I know that his 7s, his 7.5s, his 8s, his 9s are gonna come, and that's against top teams because he's done it before. He's got the ability, and we'll be looking and saying, you know what, Saka's gonna be man of the match. Can I just have the rest of the players up so I can just finish off, because I didn't.
Oh, sorry, mate. There you go.
So yeah, Odegaard, I'm going to give. Yeah, I agree. 8.5, a huge improvement. Again, from the way he started the game, yeah, and finishing. The player's got it within him. All these stats about him running around and the most yards, I won't say I'm not interested in, but these are things that he needs to do. What we want him in the team is for his attacking ability, and when he's got an opportunity to score, he scored. He did it today. Huge upgrade from his performance last week with those 2 goals. So 8.5, a warranted score for me. Jesus, his running today. So you look at Odegaard last week, Jesus' running today warrants an 8. I'd probably give him an 8.5 with the assist. So, Jesus, he's a constant threat. First half, he was a menace, 8.5. Martinelli, I'd probably give him a 7 today. He's had better games. But, again, we have to give credit to Brentford in how they set up against certain players, and they made it difficult for him. Yeah. So I'll give Martinelli a 7, knowing that this guy is going to have opportunities. You know, that chance he put over the bar, you know, it's like, I think he had 2, and it's like, those are the things you want him. Put your foot through it. You've got that ability. Maybe he may start to turn into a player that needs quite a few chances, but if he settles down, he's got the ability to put those balls away. So I'll give Martinelli a 7. And for me, I know Bertram turned around and he gave Arteta a 10 because you haven't lost, but I don't give 10s just because you haven't lost. I'm going to give Arteta a 10 today because he made substitutions at the right time. He gave players, you know, we stop and you think we we gave him grief for not making enough substitutions when he had it. Well, he did it today.
He used all 5.
Yeah, he took Xhaka off. So it's not just because we won. He had a game plan today. The guys went out and executed it, and Arteta made substitutions. He's rested players. He's given players minutes, and at the end of the day, I don't have to start to believe him if he turned around and he said to Saliba that in training we're going to try this thing, and Saliba went out and did it. So that warrants a 10 for me. At the end of the day.
So Vincent, if you get 100 out of 100, which is what he's batting 100, I got to give him a 10. He's batting out. He's batting 1,000. He's batting 1,000. No draws, no losses.
I'm happy with how he's managing the game. And this is, guys, remember what we've said for the past 2 seasons. We've probably crucified Arteta, and rightly so, for some of his in-game tactics and changes. He's got to learn. He is learning. Today, look how we played. Look how the players are responding. And he's made 5 substitutions. I'm giving him a 10.
So here's the thing, guys. You win in this league with quality players. I'm going to say this again. You win in this league with quality players. Ben White, 50 mil. We can argue about his level. Saliba, Rolls Royce, and we only have one Rolls Royce in the team because Jesus is a Lamborghini.
Yes.
Gabriel playing left. Very, very good player in the Brazilian national team. Zinchenko quality. Partey quality. I'll pass on Xhaka. Martinelli quality. Jesus quality. Saka some quality. So if you look throughout the starting 11, Ramsdale quality, even though he makes a mistake almost every single game. And when he pays for it, I'm going to hear the uproar in the class. Because look at it. Today, kicked the ball out just inside the 18, which they should have done better with. Every game, he makes one of those mistakes and we don't ever get punished, which is good. Doesn't affect the fact he's a quality keeper, but he has to be careful. He's going to give away a game one game, I'm telling you, and people are going to lose their minds because a simple mistake, which is not under pressure, which he's making. But regardless.
I don't think they're going to lose their minds, Bertram.
They will, because when we look, Apollo, we're in a streak.
I know
here.
our fan base, Bertram. They won't do it.
Well, we're on a streak here, Apollo. A streak, which is, and we look ahead and we see Fulham coming up. Even though they're playing really well, we can beat them. We see Man U's having their problems. October is a brute of a schedule.
It is.
Tottenham, Liverpool, Man City. Brute of a schedule in October. So you have to set yourself up to be ahead of the game.
Yeah, I agree.
So look, at the end of the day, we're winning. But I'm going to call out what I see when I see it. And I know I'm going to get some flack, especially in the comment section, about my perspective. But I only call it like I see it. And Arteta is winning, so I can't knock him. I think his in-game management is challenged, always has been challenged. But the one thing Arteta realizes, and Edu realizes, is that you have to have quality players. And what I've done, Apollo, even now, when I match up our team against Man City, we don't match up well man for man, one-on-one. Almost in every position, frankly, except for maybe 1 or 2. If you look at our team, goalkeeper, right back, 2 center backs, you can talk about Saliba in that mix, midfield and forward line, we still don't match up with them in terms of talent-wise. It's getting closer, but we're not at the same level.
Bertram, that team cost 1.2 billion to put together. Arsenal have spent.
We're getting up there.
Because last year we spent 150. This year we were 120. This year we spent 150. So the years before that, I know we spent money on Pepe and all of that, but they're not really.
Agreed.
They're not affecting the team. It's what happened last year and this year that is hugely affecting the team. So when you look at the amount of money we've spent to put this team together, and City, it's not even close. It's not even close.
But the thing about it, Apollo, we spent money, but what we haven't done is buy talent with sell on value. We're just doing that now. The last 2 years, we're just doing that. We haven't done that historically.
Oh yeah, I know. But as I said, and I'm not going to chastise the Michelin Tats, the Raul Sanellis, all of them lot. They're not even here. They done wrong and they run, and because they know we're hunting them. But these guys here, credit to Josh Kroenke, credit to the job Edu has done, credit to Richard Garlett. Richard Garlett has been, since Dick Law left, and that was for me the biggest problem in the club. our wages, our negotiation structure, the money was just broke us in two. Now we can go through a whole year with not being in Europe and still come, not fall into the red.
I want to see the finances
because we've managed our wage structure. Sorry,
but I want to see the finances because I haven't seen them in a while. I want to see the finances.
Yeah. We're below budget. We're below operating costs, which is good. Go on, Vincey.
Can I just say, I know you touched on Fulham, and yeah, they're having a great start. But I think what we also need to understand in our road to redemption as Arsenal fans is where we lie in the table of London derbies. Okay, we have to make some huge improvements in that area, and the Fulham game is hard because yes, they're playing well, but also because it's a London derby. So I look at the matchup. I look at how Saliba is going to be the one who's going to probably take care of Mitrovic. It's whether Arsenal match up in the midfield with Fulham's energy because they don't stop. And I think that's a huge area where if Arteta gets it right, it would be a signpost performance by the team to silence a rampant Fulham right now. So, because today doing what they did against Brentford, yes, they're at home, but that's a huge result because Brentford don't get battered.
I agree, but I tell you something, mate. Going to the Emirates night these days is not. It's not the best place to go to if you're opposing teams, man. You don't want any part of the Emirates.
You have to make them pay for the aggressiveness.
Yeah.
When a team's very aggressive, pressing hard, you got to go over the top and let them get cautious in their press because, as you said, against Liverpool, they're running all game. They have Liverpool under pressure.
And one other thing I wanted to say that hadn't been said with Saka today, what I love that he did is when he was getting dragged by a player, he used his body and drove in the middle towards the goal, and that's how the player got the yellow card. That's what you're talking about, him coming inside. Yeah. That's what you want to see from Saka, and he starts to do that. That's showing his maturity. He's, as Tony said, he's got this man body on him now, where he's using his body. Those are instances where and I'm glad the ref gave a yellow card because sometimes, we don't get those yellow cards, and obviously that puts that defender on the back foot. So yeah,
I mean the last one.
What's the view on Tielemans? Because I hear a lot of people talk about Tielemans. What's the view?
They're talking to him at the well.
No. I mean, what's your view? Is it someone we should be pursuing?
Oh yeah. We had a podcast on the midfield, and my thoughts about it. He's a very We need production in the midfield. Yeah, there's two things that have been hurting this team over the last season, and that is lack of creativity on the front line and lack of production in the midfield. And we've solved the problem on the front line. Have we solved the problem in the midfield? No, I don't think we have. We need a number 8 who's going to provide you with Aaron Ramsey type numbers, with Santi Cazorla type numbers, 10 goals, 10 assists. And I believe that when you have somebody like, you can't have a player who's going to get you 1 goal and 1 assist in the midfield in the attacking 8 role. You've got to be dynamic there. And I think that he's perfect for the role. That being said, there are other options as well because Fabio Vieira could play there. Zinchenko is my man right now. I'd love to see him play there. But we have to wait and see what the manager says. I've seen Zinchenko play the 8 for Ukraine, and I keep getting them mixed up. Zinchenko. His manager Shevchenko has always said that that's his best position, and the only reason why Pep played him at right back was because of squad deficiency. That's it. So. You can see when he's on the ball, he's a much better forward player than he is a defender. Yeah. It's there for everyone to see.
I'm a huge fan of Tielemans. I think the way how Arteta likes his midfielders, they like them to be structured, technical on the ball, have a good engine. Tielemans is that guy. How does he fit in a team? Well, I think that gives Arteta options across the board. He can rest Xhaka in certain games. He can play El Neni. He can even rest Thomas Partey if Thomas Partey isn't on form, because I do believe Arsenal are going to manage. I think we have a problem with Partey because his fitness is a concern. So you stop and you think, is Partey going to play 38 games this season in the Premier League and Europa? How is that going to impact him? Well, we've seen before that he's prone to injuries. So if we lose at the tail end of last season, we lost Partey for big games. If we lose Partey for a large portion of this season, we're in trouble. So we're in trouble in the sense of his physical presence in the team. Well, you've got El Neni, he can do a job, but I think that's where Arteta's gonna, with a player like Tielemans, he's got options where he can, depending on the opponent. And again, key thing is depending on the opponent, having players who can fill in and do a job is going to be key to our season.
So I say there's the levels to this. There's the levels to this, right? And where we're going, I'm indifferent when it comes to Tielemans. You need dynamic box to box beside Partey, dominant midfielders. You want to compete with Man City and Liverpool. I don't necessarily see that in Tielemans. Very good player, can score a goal, especially from outside the box. But I watch him against us as an example, and you can't judge a player based on one game. And if you didn't point out him on the field, I wouldn't know he was on the field.
So
there was no point in the game where he looked like a player was a differentiating player in the game. And I watch him for Leicester, but not every game. You couldn't tell me that he was a differentiating player in the field. The team he wants to join. When Zaha plays us, we see, you know what? We struggle with him. When we play against Leicester, we play Leicester he's not the player I saw, wow, that was exceptional. Like how Vardy would do against us sometimes. I've never viewed him as an exceptional player against us, our team that he play against. Good player, can score a goal, decent engine. But is he a differentiator to compete against Liverpool and City? I don't really see it, actually. I struggle with that. That's what we need. That's what we need, given where we're going.
The thing is, there's one thing that we have to have, and that is faith. We have to have faith in the fact that Edu and Arteta has combed with a fine tooth comb players' attributes, talents, leadership qualities, and all these different things, intelligence, ball possessional skills. They've covered the whole lot. They know who they're looking for. And the players who they're looking for, they know will fit their system. And they've done a damn good job in scouting the talent that they brought in over the last few years. Now, that tells me that what they see in Tielemans is something which Vinci alluded to, is something that is going to help this team. How? We have to wait and see. But there's a few Arsenal fans that have said, talked about Martin Odegaard and he hasn't got pace and this and that. And sometimes when you look at players like Zinchenko and Odegaard and Tielemans, it's not so much their physical attributes, it's the mental. Your game intelligence can take you so much places than your physical. And I think that's the reason why people underrate Thomas Partey. Because they think, when I call him a bully and all of this stuff and whatever, that's kind of the extreme. Thomas Partey is a very intelligent player. What he does with the ball and the way how he positions his bodies to block and shield possession is exceptional. There are maybe 3 or 4 players in Europe that can do what Thomas Partey can do. And we're now starting to see the Thomas Partey that we saw in Madrid. He's just an exceptional player at what he does. He's physical, he's 6'1", but it's just what he does and how he shields the mind, how he takes the ball, how he translates play and moves it on to the final third. Those are the things that helps him, which is very unconventional because when we talk about a number 6 or a number 4, we talk about them being this dominant physical force, but he's more than that. So it's sort of underselling him a little. But I digress. Going back to Youri Tielemans, I think that what you see him do with the ball, the positions he takes up, the long balls. He led the Premier League in chances created with long balls last season. And we looked at this in our chart when we had the midfielders up. He's such an exceptional player in the final third, and that's why he's so productive. He had a hand in 10 goals last season and 9 the season before that. So it's just not like he's a one-season wonder either.
So here's a question, guys. Why haven't more teams coming for him?
Because, and I can answer that, because they had the meeting with him in March, and as far as they were concerned,
the difference between there are two things to this. The players we wanted, were desperate for. We pushed to get them because we want to start the season on the front foot and with our squad really settled, right? Because we didn't want to start last year.
Yeah.
We didn't go pursue and put a fee in for him because of what Leicester is asking for. We didn't say he's a must-have. I think we're saying it's nice to have or it's good to have. Whereas Man U, who are desperate pursuing him and need midfield help, especially in the 8th position. They need a CDM, so they got Casemiro. Why is Man U saying, you know what, 40 mil, 35 mil, 20 mil, I'm going to pursue Tielemans?
So, as I said, the conversation with him and Edu already happened in March. And there's things that have happened since then. 4 teams have come in for him, including Juventus. And the agent has said the player has no interest in going anywhere but Arsenal. And that is the perception in Europe right now with Youri Tielemans. He is not interested in going to anywhere. And look, we've seen this happen with Vlahovic, Arsenal and Napoli, and all these teams came in for this player who was blowing up the Italian league. But he's made it clear that he only wanted to go to Juventus. Rafinha, look how many teams came in for Rafinha. 7 teams. He only wanted to go to Barcelona. When you have that perception as a player, then teams are just going to wane away from you. And that is what's happening right now with Youri Tielemans.
Yeah, I struggle with that because I know for Vlahovic, we put in a bid, didn't we, of about 60 mil or whatever, and Juventus then had the pressure to say, you know what, we got to bring him in because somebody else wants him, and that may change. I haven't seen that with Tielemans, so it does beg my question, given what Chelsea, who's trying to hijack everybody else's deal, think about Chelsea, trying to hijack anyone they hear about that someone's pursuing, that's good, they put money in for that player. They don't care.
The worst thing about
the player.
My biggest fear with Tielemans, from what I've heard from the agents, is that Arsenal don't want to pay no money for him. Arsenal don't want to pay any money for him. They 10, 15 million, they don't want to pay no money for him.
Then he's not an imperative because we paid 45 for Jesus, so he's not an imperative. Because we think we have Xhaka and Samba can cover for this year. So we're saying he's not an imperative. He's a good to have or nice to have.
So, Bertrand, would you say then that you would be happy to go the season without any midfield upgrades?
No, Vinci, I'm not saying that. I'm saying go find me. You know the kid from Brighton? 20 years old, can go box to box, great pedigree, because the kid who worked for me, one of my kids at work from Ecuador, taught me through him and his history and all that. Okay. Not only him, but the program they have there. Look like significant upside, great sell-on value. Somebody I would think about pursuing.
This is the point that we have to remember.
No, defensively, I think he's light defensively, Apollo.
Yeah, this is
good
the point
offensively, light defensively.
This is the point that we have to remember, which GK has mentioned. We have players like Sambi, like Vieira, Smith Rowe. We've got a trailer load of players in there that are a part of this squad. And I want to see more of Sambi because I love him in the 8 role. I think he's smart. I think he's intelligent. I think he's productive. And I want to see more of him in the 8 role. Is that going to happen if we bring in a Tielemans and we have Vieira and everything is all, and Zinchenko was there? Not really. If that happens, I probably see Sambi might be going out on loan. Because when is he going to play?
Yeah, he's got to play.
Our best midfield performance over the last 2 or 3 years is El Nene and Partey against Man U at Man U. Our best midfield performance over the last 2 years or 3 years was us playing, I think, Man U ago at Man U, El Nene and Partey, down in the middle with Fernandes and Fred. One day is Man U middle the barometer and the gauge for your midfield, given how they are now. But the point I'm making is that in that game, I think, and then they played the 6 and Partey played the 8. And they overlapped, they switched.
They overlapped,
right?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
But
so I don't disagree about Sambi, but I would never Smith since Smith was an 8, Beer as an 8, Odi was an 8. We had Smith Rowe and Odegaard against Liverpool, and we got run out the park with those two in the middle. No defense.
Yeah, Smith Rowe's an 8. Yeah, he's an 8. He played at 8 on Huddersfield. He played an 8 in the academy. The only reason why he switched to the 10 is because Arteta has changed him into that position.
No, I know, but against the big boys, it's not an 8.
You see, Bertram, the question you're asking about that game with Partey and El Nene is they can't do that for 38 games of the season. They can't do that home and away against the top teams, the top 6 teams. So then that question is, okay, Xhaka had some great games alongside Partey. But the key thing is, if any one of those get injured or 2 get injured, we're then in a hole. And that's where I can see where if there are rumours with Tielemans coming in, it kind of makes sense. But again, like Apollo, I'm Project Youth. Yeah, I want to see the youngsters get game time, get abilities. So, and we've seen when they've got that, you can see the ability. Sambi, huge talent. But it's whether or not they're going to have enough games to show that, and then Arteta's going to allow them to perform. Because El Nene came in last season and had some really great games, but then he did tail off. So then, you know, just like I know a lot of people rave about Partey, but he had a large chunk of the season where he was mediocre for me, given what we need him in the team, and then he burst into life come February. So 38 games is a long season. Come winter time, remember we've got the World Cup coming on. You know, it's players are going to get time.
These guys are joking.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with that. I do think we all should be encouraged about the direction of travel and the progress of the team, given where we're coming from, given where we were 12 months ago, where we are today. We all should be happy, encouraged, and enthused. But more importantly, about who is making the decision. The decisions have been made by the owners, the investment they make in the club, by the technical director, whatever Edu calls himself, and the players he's acquiring, and by the manager, who has a view as to what quality looks like, given his pedigree and working with Pep. And so I think I am more encouraged about that than anything else, because I see us having a hybrid Dortmund model, buying quality players, young enough to have sustained assessment of their performance, young enough to have set-on value, but they're not overpriced when we buy them, and where we can mold them into what we're looking for, our style of play, or system of play, and we can see what their potential look like, where they can take us, and more importantly, how we can compete against the best teams across Europe. And I'll say this final point, which is, I'll make this point again because it's important. When you play against the top teams, your margin of error is reduced significantly. You hear me complain about Ramsdale and his mistakes, Xhaka and his mistakes. City last year, up, looking good, run him off the park, and Xhaka make a dumb mistake holding Silva back. They scored, the game changed. Now, you could say Martinez should have scored later, but those margins can't be allowed. Like Xhaka, I'm telling you, Ramsdale make whatever every game, Xhaka makes one every game, and because of the level of competition, we don't get punished. Against the Man Cities, the Liverpools, the Chelseas, even the Tottenhams, those margins of error got to be really, you got to be on point for the entire game. It can affect your entire season. So hopefully we continue.
Yeah, we're in closing comments now, guys, but it's a fair point. But I do also agree with what Cam is saying here. Cam says, Bertram, isn't Spurs and Chelsea our rivals, not Liverpool and City? I think we've got to look at Liverpool and City as the rivals, because if you look at Liverpool and City as the rivals, then that's already taken care of Spurs and Chelsea. So if you look at Spurs and Chelsea, then you're never going to perceive yourself being champions. I want to look at us as being champions, and the only way to do that is to use those two teams as a measuring stick. As I said, if you aim for the top and you lose, that still puts you above Spurs and Chelsea. But if you aim for the top and you win, and you build that winning formula, and the team excels, then you've got a chance of winning the championship. Before I go back to Bertram, the funniest thing ever said in the Premier League is this. Jose Mourinho said his biggest, most successful season was finishing second with Man United. What he was trying to tell you was how bad that team was and how much he got out of it. And we're actually seeing, 2 years ago that was, guys, we've actually seen United, how they've capitulated. So Mourinho must have known what he was talking about. And he puts that down as the thing he's most proud of. Go on, Bertram.
Well, a couple of things. I'm going to digress on Man U because their defense is 200 million pounds. Their midfield is 100 million pounds. Their forward line is over 100 million pounds. That tells you everything. And they still can't do well. When owners spend a lot of money, they're not spending when they come third and fourth. When an owner gives you 150, 120, spend 450 since 2019, he's not spending money just to make top four. He's spending money to win, because win brings notoriety, wins bring merchandising sale, win brings prominence, and that's what he's looking for. So this whole concept, another thing, look how Arteta thinks and acts and his prospects going forward. He's not thinking about Chelsea and Tottenham. He's thinking about winning the league. Now, his timeline may be different from ours, but I don't think he and Edu are thinking about, well, we're going to go in here to, or I think Conte think about what I'm trying to bring Spurs to fourth, or is Conte thinking about winning the league? If you're an exceptional manager, or you think you are, that's how you think, which is, how do I beat Spurs? How do I beat Liverpool and Man City to win the league? Not just how I compete against Chelsea and Spurs. I don't think that's how they're thinking. And my view is they're thinking this year we can compete for the league. Now, whether we get there is a different story. But I don't think they went on and spent another 100+ million. Still looking to spend, by the way, to be coming third and fourth. If you try to come third and fourth, you may end up fifth or sixth. That makes no sense.
Exactly. I agree. Vincey, any closing comments from you?
Yeah, man. I just a real great performance away from home. Big up Arteta. Masterclass, 10 out of 10, set the team up right, made the right substitutions. It's a tricky game against Bournemouth, and we did the business first half, and that's the way how we've got to move forward. You know, our team is built right now to hit the ground running. If we don't do that, we'll see how the ending of All or Nothing happened last season. We're a candidate for that to happen again. So it's encouraging to see the players put in the pain of last season to the back and executing first half. And I'm just loving it. I'm loving the football.
It's good you said that, because the pain is out there for all to see now. They know that the thing is out there. Everybody's watching it. And they have something more to prove than any other team in the league, because they had it in their hands. They had it and they lost it. And right now we're seeing almost like the phoenix rising in this team. It's exceptional. And I'm not going to downplay any victory, because I know this is the Premier League. I know that if you turn up there with your big chest, these teams will slap you down and they'll make you humble. This league has a tendency to do that. So I'm grateful for everything that we're going to get from this team. And as I said, I'm sold on the mindset that we have to take advantage of the first 8 games, because when game 9 and 10 comes against Spurs and Liverpool, for me, that's when it's really on. And it's how much we can build up a gap in case things go wrong. But you saw what happened with Chelsea last week. Spurs came in there. They never do well against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. And for some reason, they left with a point. And that's what you have to do in order to compete at the top.
I think definitely I've got a lot of confidence this season, more than last season, that the players are going to walk away this season with their head held high due to the pain of last season. Yeah. And that's why, and even Arteta as well, that's why I'm really confident, and I'm looking to see the changes he makes. And again, when players play bad, it's down to the manager, or aren't effective. It's down to the manager to make those changes, and he's doing that. That's what I wanted to see, because
we overachieved last year. I think when we picked our teams last year, finishing, I had the highest, and I picked our team 6th. So this notion that we bottled it, I laugh, because you know what? We had the 7 last game remaining. We won the games we shouldn't have expected to win. we lost the game we expected to win.
I agree.
It showed the inconsistency of the team. The West Ham, the Chelseas, we won. We lost the Crystal Palace and to the Southamptons of the world. So I think the team was inconsistent. It was very young, with more maturity. They're a year older. We brought in some winners in our team. Our expectations were heightened. It's the first time probably in the last 6 or 7 years I'm really enjoying Arsenal football. And what does that mean? Meaning I go to game, just kick it back, saying, how am I going to win by? It's going to be 3-0 today. It's going to be 2-0. It's going to be 4-0. Versus going on pins and needles saying, I hope we scrape through today and we win. I am complaining about us winning 3-0, saying, why isn't it 6? Why does XYZ play this way when I'm down? Because you know what? That's what I'm used to. Way back when I was used to.
You better be careful. New York Giants don't get no love this season, my friend.
No, they look good in pre-season. Tyra Taylor may take the quarterback slot actually from Mike Jones, but there's optimism around New York Giants. We see what happens. They've been poor for years. But
GK says, I definitely want us to be able to keep clean sheet. This is the thing, GK. It's they've gone away twice in the first 3 games and had clean sheets away from home. I mean, nobody's able to shut out Palace so far this season. I think it's exceptional. 0 goals let in and 5 goals scored away from home.
That's the stat that makes teams stand up against you, because home and away, they're looking and thinking, you know what, we're going to have to take our chances. Yeah. And for me, it's encouraging to see Saliba score a goal, because now we're going to start to look and think, okay, you know what? Both our centre-backs are a threat at corners. Yeah. We know Ben White can score. We know Cedric can score. But Zinchenko, he can score, he can assist. We've got goals in our team. So that's what I'm saying is we're in a position to take chances. We now can be a ruthless team. And, you know, as Arsenal fans, when we're ruthless...
Oh, you two are making me feel good. Zinchenko, go.
No,
always believe in your soul.
I wouldn't take up singing, Apollo. I wouldn't take up singing.
I love it. Guys, I've just turned on my Xbox again to get onto Sky Sports so I can watch the Skins game. So, listen, thanks for everybody joining us. Thank you for all of the viewers, everybody who's tuned in. I can't believe we've had 39 subscribers today, new subscribers on the show today. It's probably one of our highest ever. So I hope you guys enjoy all of the content. Hit a like on that button, and I hope you enjoy what we can give you as a community. Check out our forum, Arsenal #101 in the comment section below. And listen, man, guys, enjoy while it lasts, because these days don't come every day when you're supporting a club. They really don't. And this could be the beginning of a fantastic journey. So listen, that's it from me, guys.
Before you go, who you picking for the fight today?
I'm going for Joshua.
Is that your heart, or is that your heart you're talking to?
No. I've seen too many times before when people are overconfident and go into a fight and they just have that mindset that the person that they're fighting is just going to be a rollover and then they get outboxed. I've seen it so many times before, it's not even worth talking about examples. And I just think that he's going to come back. Sometimes as a boxer, you don't go in with that mean streak that you should do in every fight. And for me, he was just too relaxed. 2 days ago, he got completely outboxed. You don't take a return fight unless you know that you can win. And today, we're going to see an animal. He's prepared for the fight better, and he's hungry. I think he's going to see a different fight. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I've seen it too many.
So I've seen this
book too many times before, Bertrand.
His chin is questionable. You saw his chin against Klitschko. You saw his chin against White. You saw his chin against his chin against Ruiz. His chin is questionable. That's the concern I have. Not about his power. He's a little bit heavier than the last fight. But when he gets rocked, he doesn't handle it well.
I think that I think if he wins, I'm not sure if it adds anything to his legacy as a fighter, because I don't think he handpicks fights, you know, and I personally think Usyk's going to win. But if Joshua does win, I'm thinking, okay, what's the fight out there for him? I would actually like him to fight Wilder,
Oh no, you get destroyed against Wilder.
But this is the thing: he's had the legacy, but he's had the fights picked. So it's like
I know
he shouldn't have lost against Ruiz. And you think, okay, so Apollo saying he was lackadaisical against Usyk and lost. I want to see Joshua now take the danger fights, because otherwise his legacy as a boxer for me is.
Yeah, I agree.
Nah, if he wins, he'll fight Fury next. It's a money fight. Gotta make that final paycheck.
I think Fury would play.
Fury is by far the dominant heavyweight.
Play with him.
Yeah, he is. All right, guys, look, enjoy the rest of the evening. I'm going to tune into this Skins game now. Thanks to everybody for calling in. Brilliant as always, guys, in terms of opinions and views. And we'll catch up with you in the next one.